Well, it seems like we go live for the worst occasions here, but we're live again. Giants and Jets therapy session to end the 2024 year. There's still one game next week for the Giants and of course the Jets. Got a lot of special Give me one second. Guys, a lot of special stuff for you guys within this show. We got some guests coming on to talk about their teams respectively. Obviously, the Giants and the Jets, which is the main theme of the show. Bad Takes is supposed to be here eventually. As last year, if you guys don't remember, I'll refresh you with the concept. But we each bought each other gifts. Those are prank gifts. Last year, I got a Kenny Galladay Giants jersey, which I don't know how much it was, but obviously, it's supposed to be a prank. I forget, Luca, what did we get you last year, if you can hear me?
I think it was the Hayes gift. It was like the Jet shirt that said, "Oh, we almost." I forget in specifics, but it was a
We
Hayes
almost
shirt.
always win or something like that.
Yes.
We almost always win. But as we're waiting for Mr. Bad Takes Brian, apologies that we haven't been live in a few weeks. I don't remember the last time we were live was it when the Bucks crushed the Giants, right?
When we were live, yeah, it might have been.
Yeah, so that's what I'm going to go off of. But hopefully, Bad Takes gets in here shortly because we do want to run through some segments with some important people. Afram Almighty and Mr. Mike Moran, what is up in the chat? We do also have an announcement, which Luca kind of has already made via the social media, his social media at least. I haven't made it via my social media, so at 9:20 you'll get that announcement. But what's up to Jacob as well? I guess while we wait for Bad Takes, I guess he's maybe getting his present or whatever. He just told me he's going through a tech issue. So anyway, Luca, your thoughts on the New York Jets or
Well,
anything, whatever.
if you use the word dumpster fire, if you use the word clown show, it's all an understatement. Just as last year couldn't be bad enough, this year is worse. This has been the season from hell for the Jets, and you guys know me. I was like semi kind of optimistic, cautiously, I would say. And Alex remembers this. Brian remembers this. I'm sure you guys remember in the chat as well. I said this prior to the season, and I wasn't kidding. And I ended up being right about it. Aaron Rodgers this season, for the team to have success, would have to overcome not one, not two, but three levels of incompetence. Woody Johnson and just the whole face of the organization and the stink he's created. Joe Douglas and his incompetent drafting and free agents, and Robert Saleh and his dumb ass coaching staff. So in total, Rodgers has not been able to overcome all of that. He can't overcome injuries, and he can't overcome some of his mistakes. And I truly believe next year should be a fresh start for the organization. I truly believe that Rodgers should not be a part of the future picture next year. Now, I was discussing this with some of the members of the Afterburners podcast. I was co-hosting Dan's show on Friday with Dom C, who we'll be seeing who actually we've seen at the senior.
Who we've seen at the Senior Bowl. I was about to say
we saw at the Senior Bowl last year. He was a lot of fun. He's a really good draft guru. Check his stuff out. Talking Jets. But essentially, Rodgers not a part of the future. There's still some fans hung up on that idea that he should be a part of the future and run it back. We need a winning season, 9-10 wins. Don't sell me on a rebuild and all that different stuff. But Rodgers is not getting any younger. He's 41 years old. He's going to be 42 next year. Why waste 1 year when the inevitable is going to happen, that this team is going to start from scratch? And it's also to a point as well that Rodgers hasn't, not just with his play, but his leadership has kind of been overrated. And you look at how he's force feeding the ball to Devontae Adams. I think that's a true thing. And Garrett Wilson's not happy about it. I'm not saying Garrett Wilson is like this angel or anything, but he's out of the core that the Jets currently have. That includes Quinton Williams, Quincy Williams, Brees Hall, Sauce Gardner, including Garrett Wilson himself. In my opinion, he is the leader out of all of them. Like that, this dude came from a winning program at Ohio State, And he's been trying to find that winning organization since, obviously, he came with the Jets. Jets had 7 wins in his first season and second season, more so inching closer to the playoffs in his first season. But all the dude has seen is incompetent quarterback play. He had Zach Wilson, Mike White, and Joe Flacco in spurts that got him the ball. You also had Tim Boyle and Trevor Siemian last year. You had Aaron Rodgers for 4 plays. And Aaron Rodgers this year, in my opinion, which has, they'll look up the stats as well. They'll be like, oh, Garrett Wilson's like 9th in targets and whatever, and all this different stuff. Why is he complaining? Well, he's complaining because there are certain plays where Rodgers' first read is Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson doesn't. He doesn't even look at Garrett Wilson's way. It's ridiculous. But regardless of all that, the Jets need a fresh start. And you know what? It's great that the 33rd team is helping out Woody Johnson, but none of the lists as us fans matter that we make up in terms of GM, coach, or whatever. None of those lists matter if Woody Johnson doesn't realize what he's done to the organization from an incompetent standpoint. Say, you know what? I've messed with the people making football decisions a little too much. I need to step back. My guys like Jaime Elhai and Ira Axelrod and Brick and Jack Johnson all need to step back because we need the football people to make football decisions. We need to hire the right people. We need to pay the right people to make football decisions.
Yeah. All right. So what's up to Vinny in the chat? Armand as well. He says, what's up, guys? Who else saw Rodgers and Adams on the sideline away from the rest of the team smiling while they're down 40-0? Bench them next week. Yeah, there's a thing looming about a 500th touchdown I hear over in Jetland, which there's a couple people that are like, we don't want that to happen because that just suffices Rodgers' ego, which of course we'll definitely get into. Brian, your first thoughts before we get into the gifts. Then we got an announcement, and then we go into a couple other different things with some guests.
So we're talking about just Giants and Jets in general, or are we talking,
first general thoughts, I mean.
Okay. So first off, what's up, everybody? Hope you guys enjoying your holidays, and, if you celebrate, happy Hanukkah. As we enter into week 17 here, or I should say we're reaching the close of it, a couple things I come away with so far. One, don't ever trust the Giants to do anything so simple right. That's one. You think it'd be simple to just properly tank. But then Drew Lock decides to, look like Eli Manning for a game. So that happened. But also it's the Colts' fault too, because they always happen to lose games they need to win, when they're trying to avoid getting eliminated. Plain and simple. Now, if I'm to continue here, the Jets side. Oh, Aaron Rodgers. Where do we go? Where do we go from here, Aaron? I don't know if he should be sticking with this team or what after this season, but I agree with Luca's main sentiments. The whole organization has to be evaluated as a whole. Every single job, down to the person who cleans the toilets, should be checked if they are worth keeping with the franchise moving forward. That's my main thought involving the Jets. Their season's over. We already know it. They just got to hope for a good top 10 pick here. I mean, the Giants had one at one point today. Then, again, now they're number 4. With a 5% chance now to get the number 1 pick moving forward. Nevertheless, then you got Tampa. Yeah, we had a monster game today. 5 touchdowns, 400 yards from Baker in the air, 48-14 over the Panthers. What more could you ask for? Here's our problem. We've played down all year. It's literally in the hands of the Commanders to give us a chance at the playoffs. It's literally down to the Commanders to save us.
You need them to lose?
We need the Commanders to beat the Falcons tonight. If the Commanders beat the Falcons, the Buccaneers have the division lead, and all they'd have to do is beat New Orleans next week. That's it. They'd win and they'd be in. If the Falcons win tonight, we would need Atlanta to lose next week to Carolina, and we'd have to beat New Orleans. So a loss tonight to Washington is the most realistic outcome we could hope for. And it's sad that we're in this position, but hey, that's a Todd Bowles defense for you. Either way, I'm excited for the final week. Things moving forward, especially the new year ahead with some new opportunities possibly in front of us.
Yeah. We'll make that. We'll clear that up after gifts. Now, if you guys don't remember, I'll say this again. Last year, -1. We got each other prank gifts, right? I got a Kenny Galladay jersey. I forgot what we got, Brian. I know that
You got me the clown suit last year.
the clown suit, yes.
It's still
And
sitting
then-
here. You could see it in the video.
Yes. And then Luca got it was a almost always win shirt, right?
Yep.
So
They almost
who-
almost win.
Okay. So who should go first?
We're gonna save you for last, Alex.
Yes. All right.
So
I
Luca,
nominate
between me and you,
Luca.
who goes first?
I
I'll go
nominate
for.
Luca.
All right, I'll go first. I guess.
All right, you go first then.
All right. This is from me and Brian, everybody. So
Alex. If
Remember,
you want,
we love you very much, Luca.
all right, love you guys too. Alex, you could be if you want. You can put me on the bigger
the big
screen.
screen. Okay.
All right, what did I get this time in terms of Christmas gift? You know, I needed this shirt. I think I know who sold this shirt. Just
Endure
endure
the
the
suffering.
I will wear this proudly. This is not so much a prank gift. It relates to how I feel. Just endure the suffering, everybody. There's also just end the season. But I've endured suffering for 14 years with this stupid franchise. So you know what? In advance, I say thank you to Brian. Thank you to my brother, of course. Just endure the suffering is right. Jets, there's the suffering is never ending. It almost seems never ending, like nothing's going to change. But thank you both. I really appreciate this gift.
All
Of
right.
course. I guess I'm next then.
All right.
All right, Brian.
I'm genuinely terrified what it could be. It's hard to go after any of my teams this year outside of the Yankees. You could try and go after Tampa. It won't work out.
Yeah.
You could try going after the Panthers. They just won a Stanley Cup. You could
Let's
try
hope
Milwaukee.
that this was the gift because I wanted it. Because when Brian told me that the gift came, I'm like, did it come from this company? He goes, came from like this company. I'm like, let's just hope.
Okay, let's see. Was it green?
Yeah, it was. I think right. Yeah,
It was a green shirt?
it was a green shirt.
Okay. Is there a Santa hat on it?
Well, you got to pull it up. I mean, we you know,
I'm trying to say to make sure that this is your gift.
element of surprise, and even if it's not yours, then it's still an element of
Jesus,
surprise.
I hate you all for this. I knew there was only one team that you could not possibly go after.
Show
Get ready, everybody.
show the people,
You're about to
Brian.
see a guy who can't talk for his life.
Yeah. Wow.
The face of the man who's ruined a franchise.
Who's ruined many franchises, Brian? You forget he's choked how many times,
I know.
and he's still holding
And
on to that one championship with Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Jean Rondo, and Paul Pierce.
Can I just say with him, with his case, now that Giannis is hurt and out for a little bit, you're seeing firsthand what happens when Giannis is out of the lineup. They cannot survive without him.
I'm sure
That
they
is
can.
so clear. Dame can try, but it won't happen.
Alrighty. I've had a very tough day, everybody.
Oh,
So-
have you?
Gift.
It's about to get a whole lot tougher, buddy.
Not looking at the gift. Not looking at the gift. I feel it's a piece of clothing.
After this, but in advance, I apologize for what I did to you.
Oh, fuck you both. What the fuck is this?
Yes.
Turn it around.
Yes.
Oh my god, I hate you. I fucking hate you people.
Yes.
He hit 2,000 yards. He's 100
my
away from the
God.
record.
He's gonna
Never
break the
forget
record
what
next
you
week
lost.
against the Giants.
Never forget what you lost, buddy.
He's gonna break the
Jesus
record
Christ,
next week.
He's going to
against
break the
Giants.
record against the Giants.
I hate you. Oh my.
You know, funny, Brian. I got to mention this for context. Me and
Mhm.
our buddy Sean, ex-co-host of the Boys in the McApple, we always joked about, and this was years and years ago. We
Yeah.
always joked about Alex having a Carson Wentz jersey in his closet. Now he has Eagles apparel.
Can you please tell him what you and Sean have been joking about this pretty much this like the past few hours? Thank you, Mac. It's just wrong.
Also, Brian, we have been joking with me and Sean have also been joking that we're going to drag Alex down to Philadelphia to see the Giants play next week.
Oh, my gosh. You
I
have to
told him,
wear
I
the
said-
shirt.
I
You
said
have to
no.
wear the shirt down there.
No, $125.
Yes,
to see a glorified-
Giants hat, Eagles shirt.
I warned
$125 to
you.
go in.
I warned you before you opened that thing. I said you have no idea how bad things are about to get. And keep in mind that wasn't our first pick of what we wanted
Okay.
because
was.
Fanatics messed up. You want to know what our first prediction was? What we were going to do?
What?
They had a massive 85% off on autographed Daniel Jones images. And we were going to get you a Daniel Jones photo autographed. But unfortunately, Fanatics wouldn't ship it because they were trying to say that I'm not me. So because of that, I had to go to eBay. So I eBayed that.
That probably runs high in price right now. So
What, you talk about the Saquon or the
Saquon.
yeah, Saquon. That shirt was
Well,
like,
considering he broke the
do you
record.
want to know how
he
much it
might
was?
break the
I mean,
record
think about it.
next
It's
week.
basically like Fanatics prices for a t-shirt.
So I hate you both, but thank
Alex,
you.
you got to parade Twitter. You got to parade around Twitter with that shit.
The fuck
Yeah,
I am.
yeah, now you have to show off about how much your friends and your brother love you.
Yes.
Now you have to see.
This is horrible. Okay. So all great gifts around. I think you guys definitely did the best out of all of us, I will say. I think Brian and me come second best for Luca's gift. No. Brian's gift becomes second best, the Doc Rivers one. I really love
Yeah,
that.
because I was going through the teams and I'm saying there's nobody that can really attack. And I went, oh, they're gonna do something with Milwaukee, aren't they? But I didn't really think it in the front of my head. I didn't think it was gonna be a giant Doc Rivers t-shirt.
So before we bring on our first guest, then the guest will pop out and then we'll bring on another guest and then we're going to open the panel. Actually, wouldn't call it a minor announcement. This will hit social media in about 30 seconds, but you guys get to see what's in store for 2025. Alrighty. So that is the announcement. We are back at the Senior Bowl for 2025. Before we bring on our first guest, which relates to a certain character of some kind, which nobody knows is going to pop on. Before we get to Jeremy, Brian doesn't even know. Me and Luca are the only ones who know. If you want to reflect on the opportunity for the Senior Bowl once again, I'll start with Luca. Yeah, you're on mute. That's not a good start.
Typical.
False start.
It's not a great start. Everybody throw out the penalties flags. It's great to go back down once again. The people were great down last time. We met a lot of people, and as we all know, the communication, being in the field of communications is a lot about networking and trying to create connections with other people. We've met a few content creators down there, not just for our teams, but just for other teams and who cover the league on a national basis. I know I met Antoine Staley once again down there, the writer for the New York Daily News for the New York Jets. Very nice guy, and it was just great in total. It's a nice town, but it's like really getting our foot in the door. That's just a lot of fun, and I can't talk enough about it because it's just like, to really experience it, you really got to experience it to know what it's all about. It's a lot of fun.
Brian?
I have to say, last year was the first year I could really say I've done anything of that level of significance in terms of media, credentials, going in, doing reporting, and like directly on scene with players who are going to make it to the NFL. And it was something about it that was so different. The people were nicer. The experience was incredible. Such great food also. hospitality was awesome. I mean, everything about the event, it was super catered to everybody who was involved, and it was amazing. And I'm very excited to be down there this year with a better mindset going in, now knowing what we went through last year and looking to just, build on it and create even better experience this year.
Absolutely. So, before we bring on Jeremy, we have a special guest joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, this man is responsible for the New York Mets run in the middle of the summer, along with Haktua. May I present to you Grimace?
Oh, there he is!
Yes.
Hi, everybody.
What's up, Grimace?
How is everybody? Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, whatever holiday you celebrate.
Grimace, have you brought us any McDonald's? Like, how's Ronald doing?
Ronald is doing fine. Right now he is at the bank getting me the money because, as Armand said on Let's Talk Jets, myself and Armand are going to go buy the Jets from Woody Johnson.
Oh, okay.
Hey, there's the news we're hoping for.
Yes. I'm gonna have not Grimace gonna have 90% ownership. Armand is gonna have 10%. And since I am here, because Armand's plan is to take his 10% and share it with a certain select of individuals known as the schmucks of the round table. He has a few people, he's told me. Afram, Tyson, Legend, Elmo, Oscar the Grouch, Muppets and Puppets. I am here to ask Luca, will you be one of the schmucks of the round table? You are going to be a part of who's going to be hired as GM and head coach. You can forget the 33rd team. We're throwing them off a cliff, as Armand would say.
I love it. I love it, Grimace. I love to take the opportunity to turn around the franchise that has been the worst to me, but I get to change the direction of the franchise that has a lot of fans have suffered through. So I would love to take that opportunity to bring hope to a lot of people. Because everybody, this is the season of giving.
Yes. And I got to apologize on my part for Thursday Night Football against the Texans for giving the Jets some magic and winning that game. Because obviously that would have been one less win. I have to take responsibility, unlike that schmuck quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, and the schmuck owner, Woody Johnson.
Yeah, we can see where you're coming from, Grimace. Do we?
We got a question for Grimace, and that is: are the Mets going to re-sign Pete Alonso?
Oh, good question. I like that.
No, because I'm working on some magic to get Vladimir Guerrero to Queens. Luca and Alex and Brian will be very happy to get Vladimir Guerrero out of the AL East. He has been a stud the past 4 seasons. He hit 307 last year.
He's got a point. I guess my final question for Grimace is, speaking for the Met fans, but I'm not a Met fan, of course. What are your thoughts on the Soto acquisition, and do you guys feel that you should have done more in the rotation?
I'm the reason why he came to Queens. So you're welcome. You're welcome, Mets fans. I hope that the Grimace magic. Now, as you've seen the pitching market, it is very high expensive. Whether in free agency, Frankie Montas, $17 million, could just I don't get that one. But even trading for a pitcher, it costs a lot. Whether they have a high contract, like rumors of Luis Castillo, the Mariners are looking for a bat to come back. So the Mets don't really have an experienced bat to go back. It'd be prospects, and I don't think the Mariners want prospects.
Absolutely.
But can they do more? Absolutely. But I have to trust in David Stearns.
Okay.
I'm happy that Manaya is back, the tribal chief.
Oh, okay. All right, a little WWE reference there. Any final thoughts for Mr. Grimace over here, who is single-handedly, actually half-handedly, depending on how you think of it, responsible for the Mets' second half run?
I maybe have one thought.
Okay.
Which is, we were just asked the question if the Mets are going to re-sign Alonso, and I think all I have to say is it's going to be a very happy new year for the Mets. I don't know if Grimace wants to agree with me on that, but I hear it's going to be a very happy new year for Mets fans.
If Pete comes back, more the merrier. Just I hope he understands that after next season, he will be the full-time DH because Vladimir Guerrero is coming to Queens, and I will make sure that happens.
Now, if the Yankees get to him first, but I
Well,
appreciate that little.
Brian, I hate to bring bad news to you, but your owner cries poor like John Fisher and Bob Nutting in Pittsburgh.
He spent a lot of money, though.
listen,
Got to give him his credit. He
I
spent
will
a
say,
lot.
I'll say this. I'll say Grimace does have a thing because he's got Ronald in his pocket to bring over Vlad Guerrero with all his fucking snaps. So Grimace might have more of a point than we think.
He has some pull, all right.
Yeah, he's got some pull.
I mean, listen, if
I
he
got,
gets, if
I got nuggets, I got burgers, I got fries, I got shakes, I got the cakes, I got everything.
Nah, but he's on a diet, man. I don't know if he's gonna really bite for anything McDonald's related. Don't you think?
Sometimes withdrawal works.
You know,
Yes.
Sometimes withdrawal, yeah. So, any final thoughts, Mr. Grimace?
Want to wish everybody a happy new year. I'm going to go grab Armand out of McDonald's land. He is actually watching my kids, the McNuggets, right now because he's one hell of an uncle. But I'm going to go get him, and he will be on with you guys as soon as he can. Gentlemen, it's a pleasure. Hopefully, I come back before opening day, live on stream, to have some Mets magic, some baseball magic. Everybody enjoy the new year. Love you all.
Happy New Year, Grimace.
Happy New Year, Grimace.
All right. I'm going to send out the call-in link shortly, but this man's been waiting a little while, and I do want Luca to introduce our next guest.
Our next guest, who will be singing at the Senior Bowl once again, is fellow, I guess we could call it colleague, Jeremy from Jets Chaos. What's going on, Jeremy?
What's going on? What's going on is what's going wrong. Everything with this organization.
Absolutely, man. We'll be seeing you at the Senior Bowl once again. But, Jeremy, you know what? You have the floor. What are your thoughts on the Jets, and what do you think they should do in the offseason? This is a therapy session. We're letting all the fans talk.
Well, it's so funny how it seems like, especially when I'm doing the Jet game reactions, there's so many fans that are pointing fingers. It's the defense. It's not Aaron Rodgers. It's Aaron Rodgers. It's not. It's the coach. It's this. It's that. And I think everybody has to understand that lots of things could be true at the same time. And when it comes to the New York Jets, everything is at fault. Everything is wrong, from the owner down to the horrendously bad coaching staff to an overage quarterback who simply should have retired like every quarterback does except one who had success, who now makes every other quarterback think, oh, you could play into your 40s. No, you can't. Tom Brady was a freak. He was a freak.
True.
You can't apply that to everybody else. So Aaron Rodgers we're watching this guy who clearly is cooked. He's done. And everybody, because of his name, because of who he is, still defending him. No, it's Aaron. Anytime he makes any kind of pass, you see, he's good. We never had a quarterback who could do that. And today we watched Tyrod Taylor. I don't care if it was garbage time. We watched him come into the game, and whether it was garbage time or not, was throwing so much better than Aaron Rodgers was throwing all day. Like, it was like this is what it's like to watch a guy throw a football, accurately. The other argument I want to make, it's crazy, is everybody says, well, people are arguing Aaron Rodgers is on pace to get almost 4,000 yards. He's going to come at probably at 3,800 yards. He's going to have 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. When is the last time you've seen a Jets quarterback do that? Let me answer to this. The reason that he has those yards, it's in spite of himself.
I agree.
Look what the Jets gave him. They've had the best performance pass blocking they've had in years from the offensive line. Not saying it's perfect, but it's been the best. You wanted Devontae? We went out and got Devontae. He's had Garrett Wilson. He has an elite running back room. We've given the guy everything. So to me, it's like, take any quarterback and they would have 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, right? I mean, give me a break. That's going to be the argument of why he's good, because you're comparing him to a bar of pathetic quarterback history for the New York Jets. It's all an illusion. He's awful. He's horrible. And the reason we won more games is not only last year is not only because of the defense. It's also because we didn't have a quarterback that was calling audibles constantly and not giving us our identity of running the ball and taking advantage of our running back room and our offensive line. Aaron Rodgers was audible out of running plays all the time, constantly. He's throwing too much, and he doesn't have the skills anymore to carry an offense that way. So that's just my beginning rant. As far as moving on to next year, you absolutely take the $49 million cap hit, you say goodbye, and you clean the slate for 2026.
Absolutely.
And next season is about changing the culture. It's about whoever you bring in as coach, rebuilding that locker room and creating a brand new culture and get the stink from the last 4 years out of that locker room.
Absolutely, 100%. And I don't like. There's some people saying this. I'm not going to call them out specifically, but I could challenge them to debate. It's like, oh well, Rodgers is our best chance next year for winning. Oh, Rodgers is our best chance, but what's the alternative? What's the alternative? We're going to win, what, 8, 9 games next year with Rodgers and a new coaching staff. He's then going to retire. Then our draft position is screwed for the year after, 2026, when you got guys like Nussmeier, Drew Aller, Ewers, Archie Manning, whoever comes out. That's going to be a better class in terms of number of quarterbacks that are coming out than 2025. So you want next – yes, we all want the Jets to win. We want the Jets to break their winning – how should I put this? They want to break the playoff streak. You don't want to go 15 years without the playoffs. You don't want to go 10 years without a winning record. But you want sustained success. That's my thing. And every organization, winning organization across the league has sustained success. And you see these teams like the Chargers, the Lions, the Texans. They can turn it around in like 2 years. It's not like, oh, we're going to rebuild for 5, 6, 7 years. Next year, you get a guy like Tyrod, who's luckily still on the roster. You have him and the coaching staff. You hire a damn good coaching staff at that. Evaluate the roster. Everybody, offense, defense, special teams, whoever. You get their set of coaches in it, and then you say, hey, you know what? We'll draft a quarterback next year. We're going to add these pieces for the quarterback. We're going to finally build around our quarterback, our drafted quarterback. Not like we did to Sam Darnold, not at the end of Mark Sanchez's tenure or Geno Smith. We're going to build around our quarterback, and more importantly, we're going to have a winning culture. We're not going to take shit from anybody. No nonsense, all accountability, no catchphrases, none of that, no justifying losing. That's the idea.
So you're set up for Vrabel is what you want.
But Vrabel might want Rodgers next year. Who knows? But the thing is, too, per reports, again, you could believe this, and you don't have to believe this. Woody's apparently already done with Rodgers. But I don't think Woody should make that call. I think that should be the GM and the head coach. They're the ones to have say. If they want Rodgers back, so be it. If they don't want Rodgers back, fine. That should be their decision. But in my opinion, and in Jeremy's eyes too, as well as Dom C., who I was on with at Jets Afterburners and a couple other people, Rodgers is not the path forward. Is he the problem with the organization? No. Is he a part of the problem? Yes. And we're not one. And once again, before I let Jeremy or anybody else respond, having Rodgers come back next year is once again going with the illusion that the Jets are a quarterback away. They're not.
Yeah. That's short-term success too. It's just
that's what I said. Short-term success.
Like. It's interesting, and I'm going to compare the two situations lightly, and then I'll reflect on because we do have another Jets fan backstage, and we also got 2 Giant fans when I want to mix them in. But like your hamper to a head coach, like an attractiveness in terms of a job, it's really 2 people. It's the possibility of Aaron Rodgers. Okay, if you want to.
That was my mistake.
What are you doing? It's either that or it's Woody Johnson. Now I don't know what you did, Luca. Okay. So you have that. And the second one being you have Woody Johnson and Aaron Rodgers. We have Joe Schoen. So that's that. But no, I mean, I'm guessing, Luca, you're for drafting. Like, you guys, what pick are you guys now in the first round?
5th, I think. No, it's not 5th. Let me double check. Let's go to
Tankathon.
Yes, because that's what us. We're number 7, actually.
Okay, Brian.
So while Luca was looking at the draft pick, I was going to say in terms of the evaluation aspect you were talking about rolling with somebody next year, kind of like a bridge situation, someone who sits for now and just you roll with him for the year, see how you do, whatever, that kind of deal, and just keep building the team around that in the meantime, so that then you just plug and place the quarterback properly and have it done. That with a right coaching staff, that's kind of similar in a sense to like a talent evaluation, kind of like what Tampa did back in 2019 when they grabbed Bruce Arians and they built that coaching staff. They had another year with Winston. They wanted to see what Arians, who's a very qualified, very well recognized and respected coach, could do with this team and figure out what are the weak points, what are the strong points, can they win and do the right things with the quarterback and the staff they have at hand. He quickly found out that the quarterback was not helping. He was creating more problems than needed, but the rest of the team was in a decent enough spot, but there were a couple places that could have used improvement. So the following season, of course, Tampa didn't go ahead and grab a rookie, which would have been nice, but they went ahead. They took the shot with Brady. They built up some spots that were considered weak on their team. And from there, the team did well, performed above expectations. They won the Super Bowl the first year. And at that point, they kind of knew, okay, this is what a winning culture looks like. Let's try to sustain this, try to see how long we could coast it out. They've done well the last few years. Now it's kind of starting to hit a little in-between point in terms of coaching staff that they have now with Todd Bowles. But overall, it's what they did, and it got them a Super Bowl because they were able to see, okay, this is the weak spot here. We can fix this weak spot in the offseason. We see this is another spot that needs to be filled. Okay. This way you kind of know, is this something that I could put a rookie in and boom, they can grow with this team over the next 3 years and become a sustainable championship winning team on multiple occasions? Or is this something where maybe I'm going to have to go get a veteran who knows how to play the game and was always a good coaching staff and system away? And then boom, they make their run and they get a Super Bowl. You know, that's kind of what I think is the right way. I mean, I think that's kind of what you're getting at.
I completely agree. And real quick before we get on our other Jets caller, Jeremy, I know I mentioned the 33rd team. You know, it's all meaningless if Woody doesn't comply. What are your top 5 or top GM or head coach candidates that you would really like to see as a Jets fan?
As far as GM, you obviously got to look into the better organizations, right? You got to look into Baltimore, Green Bay, Detroit. You look at the assistant GM there. They just built a team. You got a guy who knows how to do it. It's hard. It's harder for me to judge that because we don't know the involvement of those assistants. We don't know how much of it. It's much more difficult, and that's why I know people don't like some of the names on the 33rd team. But like at the end of the day, they're talking to these guys, right? And they're much more than those two guys, right? There's a whole group of them that are interviewing and putting these guys through a process. I think with GM, it's really, really difficult, but at least get somebody who's coming from a winning organization, who knows what it looks like, who knows what a front office looks like. Joe Douglas was actually close. He was close. He had some of it. He had some of that. He brought some respectability to our front office. He just obviously didn't have whatever he had in Baltimore and Philadelphia there to keep him in line. And it got him to make those mistakes. But you still have to stick with pulling from winning organizations. With coaching, it's easy. If we're going to go with a coach that's a rookie head coach, it definitely, in my mind, has to be an offensive coordinator. It definitely has to be an offensive mind. But if you bring in Vrabel, I'm even okay with Brian Flores. If you're going to go experienced coach, bring me those guys. That's fine. I don't care if they're defensive coordinator because they have a proven track record. And like Vrabel, for example, has a track record of hiring pretty good offensive coordinators.
That's true. And I got to say, if you want two of my favorites for inexperienced guys, OCs, go to Brian's team. I can't really point, but Brian's team, Liam Cohen. And I would also say Todd Monken, former Tampa Bay Bucs OC, who's now in Baltimore.
You stay away from Liam Cohen. I'm telling you stay away from him. That's my head coach next year. That's my head coach.
What I like about Liam Cohen is that he's doing it himself, right? I mean, it's not it's not Bowles doing it, so you're getting the authentic guy who's designing the offense, calling the plays. You're getting a proven offensive mind.
Absolutely. So that's what I got to say regarding the OC hires and head coaching hires.
And with the Liam Cohen aspect too, people forget about, it's super creative now. Tampa's whole structure this year has been rolling and rolling and rolling in more ways than one. Bucky Irving just became the first running back in the Bucks for the Bucks to hit over 1,000 yards in a season since the jersey of the guy I'm wearing,
Doug Martin.
Doug Martin, in 2015. That was the last time the Bucks had a 1,000-yard rusher. It's not only there's something different with his play calling and the way they've structured the different base sets that they're doing more on the ground. They're thriving in the air. Baker's 1 touchdown away from 40 touchdowns on the year through the air. That's freaking unbelievable for a guy who thought we were leaving for dead 2 years ago.
Turned his career
And
around.
to see a coordinator turn it around like that and be able to show that the offense he's running is the best and that he could make anything happen. I mean, I thought Tampa was in so much trouble this year. Cohen saved the team, but now it's down to the defense to pick things up, which I hope it does, but I don't know. Part of me doesn't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Luca, you want to welcome on our next guest?
Well, our next guest.
Do you have access to pull them in, or you need me to do it?
I think I can actually. So our next guest, another disgruntled Jet fan. Obviously, it's a theme here. Is Vinny? Welcome on.
Disgruntled.
We're all
Good
disgruntled.
evening, gentlemen. How's
Good evening,
everything?
Vinny. Good.
Besides the obvious elephant in the room. Oh, God. What an absolute thrashing today. It's not like we didn't expect it coming. Am I the only one out here that just he wants all these Green Bay clowns out of the building? Like, I want them all gone. Every Rodgers, Adams, Lazard, go. Just
Gone.
go.
Exactly.
And like the big thing that we need to, address in the offseason, I think it's a bigger thing that we got to address head coach. I can't believe I'm saying this because I'm a big preacher of old school and let the GM pick the coach. But if you don't have a real head coach, that real voice in the locker room, I don't think you have anything. And I don't know who the quarterback is going to be of this team next year. I certainly don't think a good idea is to bring Rodgers back in. I just think he's a cancer at this point. Go. I think 2025, unfortunately, is going to be a transitional year. I don't think they're a playoff team. I think the QB class you want to look ahead to is 26, because I think you have 4 perennial candidates that could be long-term, plans for the quarterback position, whether it's Archie, the Penn State kid, the LSU kid. I think there's the fourth one I always forget.
I
But
think
Dylan Raiola from Nebraska.
There it is. And there might be a couple others there if you want to, slip into the second round. But I mean, as far as next year goes, I think it might have been Jeremy said, offense. This team has been known as a defensive team for so many years when they actually had success. Although, without being said, I would make a huge exception for a Mike Vrabel because, like you guys said, he's an established guy. He's got a proven record. He's got what I really like is he picks great offensive coordinators. And that actually softens the idea to me. It's like it's another defensive guy. I know that. But here's a name that I don't think enough Jets fans are talking about. And I know it's a long shot. Do you think there's any hope in hell that Kyle Shanahan could shake loose from San Francisco?
No,
I wish.
I live out here. It's not happening. I mean, the fans out here will. You hear from the moronic fans, but the bulk of the 49er fan base, they would be an uprising if they fired Kyle Shanahan. The real Niner fans that are in the know, you know what I mean? They would absolutely be an uprising. But to be fair, the Niners do have a small tolerance, or historically have had a very low tolerance, and have been very quick to pull the trigger on coaches. But I'm just saying, from the feel I get out of living around here and surrounded by Niner fans, there's no talk of it. It's not like a thing that's rumored. It's not anywhere in the sports news here. Nobody is talking about him being on the hot seat. But it's a beautiful dream. And you're right. If it happened, we should offer him the world.
Well, I don't think there's any scenario where they would fire him. I think they would make him available via trade. They'd want to get some type of compensation. And honestly, I would be perfectly on board. Not only giving up our first round pick, I would even factor Sauce Gardner into the equation. And I wouldn't blink. I would not blink at all.
I wouldn't blink. Historically, it's proven. It's coach. Whatever you have to give up for him, you'll eventually replace. It's coach. It starts with coach, quarterback, and then everything else comes after.
Exactly.
he'd probably pick if you get Shanahan in. Well, I mean, how would you do, Luca? How would you do that though? Would you trade for Shanahan first and have his GM get picked by Shanahan from somebody from San Fran, or would you do it vice versa?
That's like one of those like I traditionally believe in hiring the GM first, but that's one of those cases where I let Shanahan hire the GM because Shanahan is like the Parcell. Like I'm going to draw comparisons back to 1997, 96 when obviously Vinny and Jeremy were around and they remember the transition from Kotek to Parcells. They need that kind of guy. They need that respected, well-known, no-nonsense, winning guy to change the foundation and the culture of this organization. That is Kyle Shanahan. Yes, it is true in years past with Shanahan. It's either they don't make the NFC Championship game, they miss the playoffs. But you know what? Shanahan, I'd let him build it. Yes, he hasn't won a Super Bowl yet, but maybe with us, he can. But again, this is all a pipe dream, in my opinion. But Shanahan's the one guy because we already missed out on Jim Harbaugh and Sean Payton. We already missed out on those two. I said 2 years ago that the Jets should have canned Saleh for Sean Payton. Alex remembers me saying it. And I said last year, I said Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh should be fired. You know, you get Jim Harbaugh. He's ready to come to the NFL after winning a national championship for Michigan. I said that. But again,
for 2 seconds, I'll display a fun fact and I'll shoot back to you, Luca. The Giants actually missed out on Jim Harbaugh. It wasn't just the Jets because in 2022, Joe Ortiz, whatever his name is, the GM now of the Chargers, was very nervous in his interview. But if he had gotten past the nervous part, he would have said Jim Harbaugh is going to be my head coach. But then he didn't win it. But then obviously the Michigan fans would be like, well, he would have never won us a national championship. But I digress.
And I was also going to say as well, I didn't remember seeing this at the time because I wasn't on Twitter. In 2018, this was the end of the 2018 season. This is eventually when Bowles got fired. Chris Johnson had to put out a statement. Todd Bowles is our head coach. The rumors about Jim Harbaugh are not true. I just remember seeing that on Twitter recently. But yeah, as you guys were talking about Shanahan, that the Jets need a complete culture fixer. He's that Parcells guy. Yes, he hasn't won as much as Parcells, but he would be that guy. And the Jets haven't had that guy. And the problem is you need to pay him and you need to give him stability and you need to back the fuck out of the way to let him do his thing.
Luca, that's the problem.
And I don't think Vrabel is terribly far behind in some of that. Like I think Vrabel.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather have Shanahan because of the offensive mind, and he's innovative and he's a changer of the game. But Vrabel, as far as changing the culture, oh yeah.
Oh, he would.
Vrabel, as far as not getting bullied, because Vrabel's the type of guy. If we hired him, he probably would tell Woody Johnson in the interviews. He'd probably say, "I'm not going to tolerate it. Like you're not going to come in the locker room." You know, like he might make it very clear. Like if you want me to be your coach, you know.
But Jeremy, I mean, you've been a fan just as long as me, actually longer. The reality is we know how this guy likes to run this team. Why would he hire anybody though that's not a yes man? Because that's all he ever hires. We all talk shit on here. We all talk shit. Oh, he's got to find the guy that's going to stand up to him. But is Woody going to hire anybody to, give him pushback?
Only if he's humiliated right now and at the point where he's ready to throw up his hands and just say, take the team. I don't know. I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he is. But I'm not saying he is, Vinny. I'm just saying maybe. At some point, everybody has their breaking point where he realized the humiliation.
He needs to have that Leon Hess moment. Dude, honestly, I always tell everyone, I was 10 years old in 96 when they won 1-15. I did not want to be a Jet fan, for the record. Unfortunately, my dad would not turn on any other team in the house. But I knew who Parcells was. And when Parcells got the job, I was like, this guy won Super Bowls. It was instant credibility, and that team that he inherited, they were one game away from the playoffs after finishing as the worst team in the entire league. Absolute joke. That was like the greatest day of my life when we got Parcells. And that's why I'm saying you need to reach out and get that voice. Even if they got a rookie offensive-minded coach, it's not good enough. It's not. You shouldn't have to get someone who gets on-the-job training. The Jets have to stop treating this job like it's entry level.
I almost think that if they hired Vrabel, it would mean that he did reach that point. You know what I mean? I don't think Vrabel's taking the job without saying that. I don't think he's just going to take the job and say, you're still the boss, Woody. So if the Jets were to hire Vrabel, I think it's an indicator that Woody finally broke down because he hired a strong, very strong personality type of coach. Hopefully that's what it would mean. Hopefully.
Absolutely. And there were rumors, I think, in Tennessee that he actually clashed with ownership. Like, he is that big kind of
Yeah.
alpha kind of a guy. And that's what I kind of want. Like, you basically tell Woody, sit in your office, count your checks, count your money. I'm going to be
Babysit your sons.
What?
Babysit your sons.
Exactly. Babysit your sons.
Yeah.
We'll be running this team.
Yeah.
That was
Brian, do you know that story?
What story?
The one about Woody Johnson's sons.
Yes, I've heard about it. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, it's a sad one.
Well, I mean,
It's a sad
with
one,
Joe
I heard.
I read something on Pro Football Talk that Douglas came out after the fact he got canned, saying, I think the quote was, I was answering to a teenager," which I don't know how much I believe that, but or unless it was just a spiteful move from him, knowing he had just gotten fired. I don't know.
I mean, I think it was more of a case of a disgruntled employee. I mean, more of a situation than anything else. Am I saying that there's probably not something more going on? No. I mean, I'm sure there is something else here that we're not going to really know about, and it's not going to ever come out until there's another 30 for 30. But outside of that, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if his sons were involved in making decisions. Also, the Madden thing. I don't know how true that really is. That sounded like it was mentioned in passing in the involvement of a signing. And the fact that even if that information was regurgitated, that's the stupidest thing you could regurgitate, because Madden isn't real life.
Well, of course not.
So I was like, that never.
I know it was definitely involved. Like, people will mince the involvement, whether it was like big or small. All I remember seeing after, I think that was the Rossini report, Brian Costello, who does New York Post for the Jets, he was saying something along the lines, did the Madden thing factor into the decision? Yes, but was it like the ultimate, end all be all? No. But I'm like thinking to myself, why is a video game factoring in your decision making at all?
Yeah. And we didn't even mention the most damning thing on Woody Johnson, just as a human and wanting him near our players, is going up to Mike White and telling him that he effing sucks. Like, that is disgraceful, because it's not like he used a second round pick on him. Mike White, a second overall pick on him. Mike White was a free, cost us nothing pickup who sacrificed his body and got killed for us and gave everything he had. And whether he's a good player or not, as an owner, to know that our owner went up to a player and said that to him, that's disgraceful.
Why would anyone want to come here after that report came out? Why?
Yeah.
And listen, I was going to mention, I'm sorry, Alex, to cut you off. I was going to mention two things. Number one, whether they believe it or not, and us fans, we can believe it or not, these reports, don't we think that these candidates like a Vrabel, Flores, Cohen, whoever, and the GM candidates are going to ask Woody about those reports, say, hey, I read this. I'd like you to answer on it. Because to me, it's like, it's not just, Woody interviewing said candidate. It's also them interviewing Woody. Why should I believe that you are the most competent boss? Why should I believe that you're going to leave me and my football people to make the football decisions when you haven't in said article and this, that, and the third? Like, again, it's the interview kind of goes both ways.
If not, then I don't want that candidate. If the candidate is not asking those questions, I don't want him. That's not a leader. A real leader is going to come in and ask those questions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't know if the first time guys would do it, but I think the Vrabels would absolutely do it. Brian Flores probably as well, but I'm not much of a Flores guy. And you know what? Sunil was bringing up Rex Ryan. When was the last time you heard Rex Ryan as a head coach candidate in the last couple of weeks?
Please, no to Rex. I don't want Rex here. I love Rex as a person, as a commentator. I'll always be grateful for those first 2 years. Not for nothing, guys. Let's call it the way it is. He won with Mangini's roster. Once Rex had a say in the draft room, you got guys like Kyle Wilson and Quentin Coples for a defensive master. He was totally exposed. He's not a good head coach. He couldn't even finish out a second season in Buffalo. Stay on ESPN, Rex. I don't want him back here.
No, he can get you fired up and make you excited as a fan. That's not enough to make you a coach. I could do that. I really could. If I really wanted to put a speech together, I could probably sell you on the fact that I could be a coach. I mean, like, these falling in love with these guys because they show a clip of them in the locker room giving a speech to players and saying, "Oh, they're a great coach," is absolutely ridiculous. There's a lot more to coaching.
Can you guys imagine the Jets PR team on Twitter, if they rehire Rex, all the videos they would tweet out of the 2 AFC title runs, they would run with that the entire offseason. You know, let's go get a goddamn snack and all that good stuff.
Everybody forgets the 4 years after those 2 years.
Exactly. 2011, 2012.
How about the planes that were being flown over Florham Park when Idza came along? Oh, that was a great look for the Jets.
And I said this, for every Dick Vermeil, there's one John Gruden, there's one Art Shell, and there's one Joe Gibbs. There's a 1 in 3, even less of a chance that a second kind of like tenured head coach with the same team is going to really work out. And Miz brings up John Gruden. Obviously, Miz is a Giant fan. Like, let me ask you two, what are your thoughts on Gruden? I don't think he's really much of a candidate. He's at Barstool right now.
I would totally bring him on. I would totally bring him on in a heartbeat because you know why? He won. And I know what people are going to say. Yeah, he won with Dungy's team. But Dungy had that team put together for several years. They needed a John Gruden to get over the hump. And you know what? He did it with Oakland or Vegas, whatever they are now. He got them, substantially close while he was there. He was screwed by the tuck rule with that game in New England. But the guy, to me, is a proven winner. He knows quarterbacks. He knows offense. And the thing that I wouldn't like about Gruden is you're almost guaranteed to sign up for one more year of Rodgers. But Gruden is another guy I believe would command instant credibility if you brought him in. It wouldn't be like hiring Aaron Glenn.
A positive I'll say about Gruden is instead of having these players like wondering why don't they play? Oh, they have to learn how to be proud. This, that. With Gruden, he's going to put the stink out of the locker room instantly. If you have players causing problems in the locker room, they're gone. We've seen him do it. We saw him the last with the Raiders. He clears house. He doesn't care what your name is. He doesn't care how they got you. If you're not his guy, if you don't have the right attitude, you're gone. And I think it starts with that, and that can be painful in the beginning because you could lose talent that way. But I think, like Vinny says, we need that more than ever before. The Jets are in so dire need of somebody who's going to come in and just get the stink out of that locker room and out of that organization.
Not to cut you off, Jeremy, there's one thing I want to mention about John Gruden that I don't think it's talked enough about in the media because he got blacklisted for the emails and how things ended ugly in Vegas. Let me just say this about John Gruden. He signed a 10-year, $100 million deal with Vegas. And when it looked like things were going to go bad where he had to part ways, he came out and said he was not going to take the remainder of that money from that contract because he loved Mark Davis and he loved Raider Nation. He left $60 million on the table out of total respect because the reality is that whole email thing, yeah, it was his fault. He took responsibility, but he also said, even though I did say all those terrible things, don't think that anybody else in the league doesn't do any of that. So I do respect the hell out of the guy. He didn't put them in a financial mess long-term on the way out the door.
Dan Snyder's the one that blackmailed him, if you want to be completely honest. But in terms of a culture thing, I think Gruden's good, but I think the problem, which Armin mentions here, you look at his draft classes. He fires Reggie McKenzie after 2018. He brings on Mike Mayock, who was on TV, and they didn't really have a lot of success. They were pretty much mediocre at best, if we're completely being honest. And I talked about it earlier with Jeremy. I said that this isn't a league of no more 5-year plans, 6-year plans. Success is pretty much found instantly. You look at the Chargers, Eagles, Texans, Lions, whoever, and like Gruden, obviously has to adjust to today's football. But to me, in terms of the offensive aspect and talent evaluation, he's great for culture. I think he still needs work in that. He would have to be
I think he would have to let the GM be the GM.
That's fair.
And just be the fair. And just be the coach.
That's 100% fair. I completely agree with that.
He did make an error with that when he selected Mike Mayock as his GM, and that I think that was a big mistake.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You're saying go ahead.
I was going to say, Armin says that shows me Gruden is dumb for leaving money. I don't think he's dumb for leaving money on the table. I mean, he eventually signed with Barstool. He's still making money off of some of that contract. But I'm going to start with Jeremy and then Vinny. Final thoughts, if you have any.
Final thoughts is I think that we talked about there's a lot of directions that the Jets could go. I honestly believe the best path forward is I don't think we're winning a Super Bowl next year. It doesn't mean I don't think we can't sneak into the playoffs. And obviously we should be fighting and doing everything we can to turn the culture around and win right away. But because there's no Super Bowl on the line kind of thing. I think you also have to balance the future and the direction of the team, which means get Rodgers out of here. Eat the salary, eat the cap, eat it, right? Do the best you can with what you have for next year. Change the culture. 26, you have a clean slate. We can have up to 180 million in salary cap. So, and I'm not saying go out and get stars. I'm saying use that money smart, start over fresh in a good way without all this dead money. Get, role players, build through the draft, rebuild it with a really good coach, do it the smart and the right way, but don't have to carry this Rodgers dead cap money year after year. He's not going to do any good for us next year. So that's my main thing. Hopefully they find a smart GM and a good head coach, and they make that correct decision and just start rebuilding, not really completely rebuilding, but retooling and rebuilding the culture.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better. Vinny, your final thoughts.
I think it's all said right there. I mean, the best teams in this league are built from the inside out, not the outside in. I think Jeremy hit the nail right on the head there. As the way they could break up the remainder of Rodgers' money, I think you could, I would just do it the way he said. Rip the Band-Aid off, eat it all, and absorb it next year. If you realize you're not a playoff team next year, just get all that dead money off the books. Let's bring in some role players. I want to see the young guys play. I don't want the corpse of Devontae Adams and Rodgers out there in 25. We see them for what they are. They're not going to go on this magical run here or somewhere else. Find your quarterback in 26, but more importantly, please, Woody and whoever else in the 33rd team, take your time, because you absolutely got to get the head coach right. If you don't get the head coach right, I guarantee you'll pick the quarterback next wrong.
Absolutely. Jeremy and Vinny, it's been great having you guys on. Thank you. I know I sent you guys the invite today, but Jeremy, I'll be seeing you at the Senior Bowl. Vinny, I'll be seeing you on Twitter and commenting on your posts and shit spaces. But most importantly, you guys have a happy New Year and happy holidays. Jeremy, I'll be seeing you at the Senior Bowl.
Looking forward to it. And thanks for having me on. It's been fun. Great hanging out with Vinny again, too. And Brian, good to talk to you and meet you, too.
All right. Later, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Okay, so the next two guests are in the Giants realm. I don't know if Afram and Armand are still out there, if they want to hop in. I sent the call-in link. Please follow Vinny on Twitter. Please follow Jets Chaos on Twitter. The reason why I'm excited for these next two guests is because one of them I know is going to be a spitfire after today. One of them I know has been trying to convince me to calm down after what happened. And these two know each other, so they're not total strangers. So the firepower, let's start with that. And Mr. Rob Zero B, as you can see, he's pretty ecstatic about today. And then Mr. Miz also as well. Rob, I'm going to let you start because I have a feeling you have a lot to say. I think you on mute, Rob?
Yeah.
No, he's fixing this.
Yeah, can you hear me?
There we go.
There we go.
Really good.
All right.
Yeah, what a day, guys. Hey, you know what? Go Shade, Brian Dable. Bravo, man. Couldn't go 0-9 at home, right? No. Couldn't do it.
Let me get my hood on like
Couldn't do it, right? Had to go 1-8 is so much better than 0-9, right? Oh, and John Mara had Tish in the building. Stop people from wearing brown paper bags. There was a pile of brown paper bags at the front gate at the stadium today.
Really?
Refusing people to bring in paper bags. Also, not allowing people to bring in their own signs. Beautiful.
Oh, my God.
Beautiful. Absolutely.
Don't forget,
beautiful.
Rob. Don't forget that plane company that gives out all the banners. They canceled all the orders to fly over MetLife Stadium.
Yeah, I know.
That's just a coincidence, though.
Yeah, it just so happens. Oh man, what? So many places to start. So many places to start here. All right, so I'm gonna start here. For any fans, right? Or any people that are out there in the Giants verse that create Giants content, that are happy, guys like Cot Pizzle, who go and grabs his fake unconnected phone from 1976 and blows a whistle. Okay. Is that what they're calling it now, cop? Blows a whistle. I want you guys to, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face. Okay. That's what I want you to do, because you guys literally are sitting here clamoring over a win that knocked you down from 1 to 4. Let me repeat myself, because maybe people in the back, you guys didn't hear me or understand. From numero uno to numero cuatro, okay? 1 to 4, okay? Now, some of these same people, I'm going to say guys like Justin Pennick and Bobby Skinner. Yeah, Michael Penix isn't a franchise quarterback. J.J. McCarthy, he's not a franchise quarterback. And then you hear Justin Pennick today in a tweet. Well, you got to like the quarterbacks. Fuck you, okay? I don't want to hear these guys judging quarterbacks, okay? I don't. I really don't, because you want to know why? I'll tell you why. You want to know why? I'll tell you why, okay? Because you can look at Shador and Cam as being similar prospects coming out of college right now as Penix and JJ were last year, right? Here's the kicker, right? Here's what's funny. Is you didn't want to take them at 6 last year, right? Got to take Neighbors. By the way, Neighbors, so happy for you. Excited for you, but literally at this very moment in time, go fuck yourself. Tyrone Tracy, love your brother. Really appreciate it. I hope your tires were flat when you were getting ready to leave the stadium. It's like, so you didn't want to take these guys at 6 last year, but now you're okay in talking about potential trade opportunities to move up and get the guys of the same type of caliber you wouldn't have taken last year when they fell to you. Okay. That's like saying, no, I won't go get the free bump and grind at the strip club. I'll pay for a backstage hooker. Okay. $150 with buck teeth, okay, and wrinkles. I'll pay that shit and get fucking gonorrhea and crabs, but I won't go to the place that's probably got regulations in a strip club that I can't catch a disease, okay? So that's basically what you guys basically are doing. So that's addressed to the stupid fans and content creators that wanted this shit. Congratulations, you got it. For the fans that sat there yesterday and were shitting on Shador Sanders for playing a bad game, if you want to say he had a bad game. A couple of which I looked up your tweets. Oh, yes, I did. I went to your profile on X and I looked up your tweets. It's funny when you go to the search bar and you can search names. DJ, Daniel Jones. You advocated for that white piece of shit. Oh, it was the line. Oh, it was the weapons. Oh, it was the continuity of the coach. You advocated for it, right? You made every excuse. I swear to God, you can make nursery rhymes books. Your excuses for Daniel Jones are greater than fucking than Mother Goose rhymes and fucking whatever. Any type of children's book. I'm drawing a blank. I'm so fucking upset. Anyway, but yet when it comes to Shador Sanders, he's a bust. He's a failure. He's this, he's that. You want to shit on the guy? He hasn't even taken a fucking snap in the National Football League yet. So that's addressed. Last but not least, John Mara. I want you to adjust your hearing aid volume, John. I want you to look at me, John. I want you to look at me real good. Okay? I want you to look at me real good, you wrinkled old fuck. Okay? You are the dumbest and most mentally challenged son of a bitch I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. You walk into a Seahawks stadium flexing a ring that you had a franchise caliber quarterback when you were rocking Daniel Jones. And then you've got the balls while honoring your father, which I'll be honest with you, at this particular point in time, he probably left this planet to get away from you, is you say that you're not making any changes, and then the team results to losing 8. What is it? What was it? 8 straight games? Eight games?
I think it was in this season. If it was more than 8, I think.
Okay,
Because
all right.
it
was even worse.
10. I think it was 10 games in a row. I think
10 games in a row. 10 games. Okay. And then John, and then you've got the nerve, John, to show your face to a reporter today and say Happy New Year. When if we would have lost, your old wrinkled ass would have fucking used your walker and hobbled to your fucking car out the back fucking door. You wouldn't even address it anybody, you old piece of shit. Okay? Go get some fucking Proactive or some skincare treatment for your wrinkles. And while you're at it, get some ashwagandha and some other natural fucking sedatives to help with your delusional fucking brain, because you are an idiot. You are an idiot. There are people that actually try to have hope for you, John. There are people that actually defended you, John. I feel bad for them. All right? Maybe you should wonder why. You know what? John, I shouldn't. It's funny, that all of this decision making, you guys, your whole family is unbelievable. Really is. Your daughter is going out there making movies about being a teacher, sleeping with a student, and you can't even run a franchise. Okay? You're an idiot. You're an idiot, John. You are an absolute buffoon. I would rather deal with Jerry Jones. You want to know why I'd rather deal with Jerry Jones? Because at least Jerry knows how to draft. At least Jerry knows that is not afraid to draft a player, Micah Parsons, with a little bit of a background history off the field problem, right? Because he sees the football aspect of the player. Okay? You are a shriveled up, disgusting donkey penis. And I legitimately hope that you just get fucking railroaded. I hope that you're driving home and your car breaks down on the railroad tracks and you get out, but your $100 million car, whatever the fuck you drive, gets absolutely decimated. I hope you go bankrupt. I hope you lose everything, you old fuck, because I'm sick and tired of you. I'm sick and tired of having a 50% owner that's having cocaine parties on a yacht. He doesn't do a goddamn fucking thing. And I'm sick of the coaches and the GMs that you bring in this fucking building, that you let the best one walk out, all because your ego got in the fucking way. Drew Lock. Go fuck yourself, Drew.
Oh, man. I like
Come
Armin's.
on, Rob. Tell us how you really feel now. That was just a warm up.
That was his opener, and Brian was ecstatic about it. I guess he is his just general surprise about it.
I was not expecting that explosion, but I get it. It's beyond a season.
You should have heard me. Should have heard me on Twitter earlier.
Yeah, he was.
All right, now I'm going to be the voice of reason, Rob.
Well,
Space is recorded.
I will say before I let Miz go, I know we have a Jeff fan and a Seahawk fan in a little bit, but we
got to get Adam in here too. He's itching to go off.
There you go.
Oh, there he is. You know what, Adam? I'm going to be nice. I'm going to let you take my spot. Go ahead.
Okay.
Be nice. This team's a fucking joke. Rob said everything minus all the expletives. Myra ain't going nowhere. I blame this solely on fucking this team not understanding and seeing what the fuck's going on. Okay, you see the other two teams play right now? They got 2 rookie quarterbacks. You know why? Because they had the foresight to pick those motherfuckers. The Atlanta Falcons paid $100 million to a guy who can't even walk. Okay, and then they drafted a fucking quarterback behind him. And what do we have? We have Drew Lock, Tommy DeVito, and now Tim Boyle. Okay, that's your quarterback room that you decided, Joe Shane, that you decided to bring in here. And then you gaslight us by going to both the fucking games yesterday and trying to show up like you're fucking doing your job. What job have you done? You've done nothing. And anybody celebrating this win should not be a Giant fan, because I have never been angry at a win in my life. And today I broke something because I was so angry that they won. Not because they won the game, because I could see my quarterback slipping through my fingertips. unlike the Giants, right? They see Shedeur Sanders and like, fuck that guy. He's a top quarterback. Fuck that. We'll trade back and get Jackson Dart. Ass cheeks. That's what we like. We like the fucking second player on the fucking board. We don't like the top of the class fucking players. No, let's take the fucking number 7 quarterback in the second round because it's the safe pick. He knows Eli Manning, so guess what? He's going to be the fucking front runner on the fucking team. That's what the fuck's going to happen. I guarantee you they're going to fucking tell you if they win a game against the Eagles next week, Jackson Dart was their guy from the fucking start. That's what they're going to tell you. That's what they're going to say. That's how they're going to sell you. Because I guarantee you right now, you can't sell me shit. They're telling me, oh, well, you're going to get a franchise quarterback. What franchise quarterback is going to come here? You have to pay money for that motherfucker. We're going to waste all our cap space on a quarterback and then not have anything else to go with him? What the fuck are we talking about? We want to sit here and win games and then fucking trade out and trade up and do all these fucking scenarios. Are you kidding me? This team can't get the memo. They don't get the fucking Tennessee Titans, the Cleveland Browns. They got the memo. You know what they did? Oh, Jameson Winston came up on the injury report with a fucking shoulder injury. Okay, yeah, he's a shoulder injury. You know what they did? They said, sit down, Jameis. We got this from here. We know what we're doing. Tennessee, they had Will Levis back to Mason Rudolph. And now they're like, you know what? We're cool. We're cool in our spot. We're not going to win against Jacksonville or Tennessee next week because we're cool. Not the Giants, though. No, we got to win our game at home. 100-year anniversary. Let's win a game. Meaningless. Meaningless for what? For what? So John Merrick can, rub elbows at the country club so he can not look like a laughingstock? Newsflash, John. You've been an ass for the last 10 years. An ass. You're the laughingstock. You know what John Merrick is? He's that guy that goes to the party that everybody laughs at behind his back, but he thinks he's the hot shot at the party. Meanwhile, everyone's talking shit and laughing at him as he walks by. So look at that idiot go. Let's see, that's John Merrick over there. What an idiot. That's what he is. Okay, I'm tired of this team. I don't want to be a part of this fan base anymore because I'm tired of losing. I'm tired of the same shit, rinse and repeat. It's like insanity. It literally is. We brought in Joe Shane for him to do the exact same thing as Dave Gettleman. The exact same thing. And then we have fucking Daniel Jones on our fucking team. And then you're like, oh, yeah, he's our guy. And then you cut him halfway through the season.
Adam, because you're always in the spaces. And I'm sorry,
yes, sir.
And I'm sorry to cut you off, Miz.
No.
When we drafted, and Alex, you heard this too, I'm sure. What did I say Malik Neighbors was when we drafted
a luxury pick?
Saquon
A luxury pick.
I said he was Saquon Barkley. What did I say was going to happen after we took Malik Neighbors? I said they're going to go ahead and reach and draft the next Daniel Jones in this draft. Is what
That's
I said
what they're going to do.
And that's what I said they were going to do. And guess what? That's what they're going to do. Dave Gettleman and Joe Shane are the same fucking person. One has cancer and one has brain damage. But they make the same fucking decisions. You took a luxury pick. You could argue Saquon Barkley was the best player in that draft. You could argue that Malik Neighbors was the best player in last year's draft. Athletically, you can make that argument. You can make it. And the Giants, they pulled it off nicely. And now you're going to reach. Now you'll get. And listen, I don't have a problem. See, here's the thing. I don't have a problem with Milroe, right? I don't have a problem with Milroe. Definitely done more in college than Daniel Jones has. But let's face it, it's a flip of a coin. What are you going to get? Right? It's not Penix. It's not JJ. It's a we're going to take it and we'll see what happens. Jackson Dart's the same fucking way. All of these guys, right? So
the one thing I want to say is this. I'm tired of the word bridge. Okay, people need to know what the fuck a bridge is. A bridge is to get from one place to the other fucking place. It's not to be the main place. Okay, I don't want to hear about a bridge quarterback. I want to hear about the next fucking franchise quarterback. We've had 3 bridge quarterbacks on our team. Hell, we have 2 of them right now. Fucking Drew Lock and Tommy DeVito. Those are bridge quarterbacks. Guys we're going to get rid of in the next few weeks.
Look at this. Look at this first in line Krispy Kreme eating motherfucker right here. Look at this. Look at this fat piece of shit right up here. Look at him. Look at him. Art fucking Stapleton, you four-eyed, Krispy Kreme eating motherfucker. Look at this fucking fat fuck. Well, the plays might have been having a different result. May have contributed to the fire this team needed to get a win. Fuck you, Art. Go fuck yourself. Maybe you should get on some fucking whatever Brian Dable was. Might give you some fucking brain cells. Oh, my God, dude.
I don't know why you would want to be a reporter and cover a team that constantly loses. I don't know how that makes you sell papers. It's like, hey, you know what, guys?
They love that.
I want another year of losing. Let's go. Yeah. Woo.
Well, they do love that, bro, because here's my theory, man. The more the media let out the cat out of the bag that Dable was the one that was going to get the axe, the more you motivated Dable to open up a playbook today that we haven't seen all year and go win a game. And he dropped the 45 nugget. And then what did he say after the game? He sent the message to Mara. What did he say? Oh, if we get good quarterback playing, this is what I'm going to be able to do for you, or this is what the offense is going to do for you. That was a straight shot at Mara and Joe Shane.
Well, great job, Brian Dable. Now you won't get your quarterback, so good luck. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Yeah, great job, Brian. Didn't you have that same fucking quarterback playing for you last week?
Yeah, but you guys got to understand the other side of it. He's thinking his job is done. He's fighting for a job.
What job? He's going to go back to Buffalo, be a fucking sales coordinator over there, do some fucking tying of shoes and tightening of helmets, and be good. Like, great. You won a game to prove a point to what? John fucking Mara, that you can coach a team? Well, good job. A little too late, fucking Brian. A little too fucking late. Okay? Sorry to tell you that.
Well,
you had your chance, and you blew it.
This is why I'm not exploding, because this angry shit is settled into me like a year ago. So it's already become so sad that I can't even get all crazy angry no more. I'm hoping Joe Shane's gonna do what he's got to do to go up and get his Shedeur Sanders, the guy that he's been living over there in Colorado for 3 months. So I would think he's gonna trade a pick or two if he has to go up and get his guy.
He's selling his soul to the devil to get that guy, if that's what's going to happen.
He's gonna have to.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny about all this? You know what's funny about all
Luca,
this?
go.
You were saying Luca?
Oh, my bad, Luca. I'm sorry.
I was going to say real quick, I want to offer my thoughts before Rob comes back and, gives a response. I just want to say to all you guys, I said this to Adam when Alex and Adam were talking on the phone. Jets fans, not in this exact spot, because you pretty much all want the GM and head coach fired both, not just one guy. The Jets were in this very spot 4 years ago. I was big on the tanking train, tank for Trevor. You guys are pretty much tank for Shedeur or Cam Ward. We were on the tank for Trevor train. Just want to give some insight. We were on the tank for Trevor train. We had lost 13 games in a row. We just got our asses beat by the Seattle Seahawks, 40-3, no shit. We traveled to LA, played the Rams, and we won. We ended up winning the next game against the Cleveland Browns, ended up finishing 2-14, which is by far the second worst season I've watched. In terms of record, probably the first best, but not the point. So that's what you have. Yes, you guys are talking about quarterback, agreed. The problem that it also has created for your organization is and Miz mentioned this to Alex, I think, it's not creating certainty that both the GM head coach are going to be fired. And that one could be fired, as in like Dable could take the fall, or they could both stay, or it's unlikely that, in my opinion, Shane takes the fall. But if you are firing Brian Dable, you want to be able to advertise this job to a top candidate, like a Ben Johnson or a Mike Vrabel or whoever. Now you don't have that luxury. And yes, this isn't the quarterback class like 2020, where Trevor Lawrence was the generational prospect. I guess Shedeur Sanders is not that guy, but he still is the number one guy. And even if you didn't want Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward, which that's a very small minority of Giant fans, if any out there, you trade back and you get a quarterback next year. But I think the smart idea for the Giants would be, obviously, if they stay at one, pick Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward, whichever one you like. But my point is, it's not just about the quarterback. It's about the coach to revitalize this organization. And even if you fired the GM, you get a good GM in here. It just makes the number one pick alone makes the turns around your culture faster, gets a good GM in here, a good head coach in here. So that was just a little bit of my outsider insight into this. And right now, the Giants fucked themselves. That's what I got to say.
I'm going to add this real quickly before I go to Brian and I shoot back to Rob. Who's going to work with Joe Shane for the fact that he let this guy walk?
You had to do it, didn't you?
The truth behind that story is we do prank gifts at the end of every year. This is the second year we're doing it. And Brian and Luca decided to get me this.
I'm gonna throw up. I'm literally gonna puke right here.
We did it as a reminder of what could have been 3 years ago if the Giants would have played their cards correctly. And they did not do so, and they screwed up. Big time.
The Giants play their cards correctly? My God, you have a better chance of winning the lottery than the Giants play their cards
imagine this. Imagine this for a second. What if the Giants in 2018 took Saquon Barkley at 2 and then traded back into the back end of the first round and drafted and got Lamar Jackson? Can you imagine? Can you effing imagine? But I want to go back to what I was going to say before Luca went. I find it hilarious that the guy that had us by the balls last offseason is going to have us more than likely by the balls yet again. Mr. Elliot motherfucking Wolf. And this time, Joe, he's probably going to make a deal. But guess what? Your son, the one who told you to get a quarterback, he's got to get included in the deal. Your first round, multiple firsts, he's going to take your whole fucking life, Joe. He's going to take pink slips because guess what? He's going to take fucking pink slips because if it don't work, your ass is getting canned. Your ass is getting canned. I find it hilarious that it's up to that. You know what really sucks though? On a real note, all kidding aside, it sucks as a Giants fan, truthfully, that I have to sit there and be upset at my team and when my number one pick, Malik Neighbors, is having a hell of a game. Look, he had an amazing performance today. 7 receptions, 171 yards, 2 touchdowns. And it sucks that I have to be upset that happened because it resulted and added to my team getting a win. It sucks that early in the first quarter, when the Giants got the ball, that Tyrone Tracy breaks off a big run down the right side, getting us inside the 20-yard line or inside the 30, excuse me. And I got to be like, yo, what are we doing? It sucks that I got to get upset that Dane Belton made an amazing acrobatic interception to do that. Or our third round pick this year and Andrew Phillips gets an interception, almost returns it back. It absolutely is terrible that I have to watch my team and I have to see these players having success. And I'm like legit mad that they're having the success. Neighbors made some great catches today. I'm looking at my screen. My wife looks at me and I'm like this. And I'm like, I'm sick to my stomach. And she's like, are you fucking, she's like, it's a great catch. But what the fuck are we doing? Great player. But what are we doing? Like, I hate that. I would love to feel like that, knowing we've got a guy. That we've got a guy waiting.
If it wasn't Drew Lock throwing the ball, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it would feel great. It would feel amazing. Like nothing goes. You guys realize nothing goes right for the Giants. They really don't. It's unfucking believable. It really is. Like I swear.
That's not true, bro.
No, it is true. It is true.
You saw 4 Super Bowls. You can't.
No.
How many you've seen?
No, let me explain. When Daniel Jones was here, there were so many opportunities where that motherfucker, like that this team should have just been absolute shit. And that dude should have lost his job, right? We go ahead, they deny his 5th-year option. But then we go to the playoffs. And then then they should have tagged him, right? But then they give him a 4-year contract extension. Last year, everybody gets hurt. You get a top pick in the draft. You are literally on the premise of getting Caleb Williams or Drake May, right? One of these top guys. But they take a wide receiver. This year, you're losing again. You have the number 1 overall pick, and you win a game? It's like at every turn. And the Raiders, The Raiders, they need to lose. Are they going to win? Are they going to win a game? Can they win a game? They're so bad. They win back-to-back weeks, and you win today. Like, this is the Giants. Now I have to worry about making a deal with the idiot that didn't even get the GM job until after the draft. And Elliott Wolf. I got to worry about the Motortown City, Tennessee Titans, right? I got to worry about that clown show over there taking a quarterback. And then I got to worry about the Brownies, right? The shit stains of the Browns. Oh, we were Deshaun Jackson. Who gives a fuck? They might take a quarterback too. Yet again, Joe, you have to negotiate with yourself. Yet again, you had it right there. Right there, Joe.
Yeah.
Right there, Joey. It was right there, Joe.
Tell your friend.
In the palm of your fucking hand. You didn't have to negotiate shit. It was right there. And you said, fuck that. And you said, let's win, baby. Woo! Let's win. Hey, Elliot, do you want to trade with me now? Let Hard Knocks be this fucking year. You cock fucking sucking motherfucker. I bet you'd make a deal now. You fucking piece of shit. Yes, I bet you'd ask all the questions now, Joey. Yes, what would it take to get the deal done, Elliot? What would it take? Let me talk to Bob Kraft. Let's get it done. Yeah, Joe. Woo!
Well, now to be negotiated. Now, see, the thing is, he played his cards. Joe Shane does not play poker well. Okay, he does not play poker well. He did it with the Daniel Jones contract. He's done it with every signing he's done. He's basically bid against himself. Nobody was trading for Brian Burns, and he traded for Brian Burns. Nobody was signing Daniel Jones. He signed Daniel Jones. No one was going to give Devin Singletary that contract. You gave Devin Singletary that contract. You had trades in the draft. 1 second, Luke. I'll get to you in a minute, but you had chances to trade in the draft, and instead of trading in the draft, you gambled and said you wanted to go with Daniel Jones. My point is that this guy does not play poker well. He just does not. He's that guy at the table that shows you his cards and laughs like, "Oh, I got 2 aces. Oh, look at me."
No, he's the guy that goes all in on a pair of deuces. That's the
exactly.
guy.
And then then he realizes that wasn't a good hand, and he loses everything, or that no one else had the cards and he gets a bluff. Right?
Maybe I'll get a 2 on the river. I'll get a triple, baby.
Exactly. I'm Joe Shea. He's playing against himself. Basically, he might as well sit there at the poker table by himself, playing against himself, betting against himself. Basically, switching chairs everywhere he goes. He'll play one hand on one side. He'll get up and play the other hand on the other side. That's Joe Shea. Go ahead.
I want to piss in this fucking Cheerios.
I was going to say real quick, I forgot the example I was going to bring up, but you guys made some great points. I think the problem with Joe Shane, you know what? I just remember my example. He's reactive. He's not proactive. And Alex was debating with some people and talking about the whole Saquon Barkley process. Oh, they didn't know the running back market. Well, shouldn't Joe Shane know the running back market?
Same people Rob was debating with, but I digress.
Exactly. I'm just making a point.
Let's get into that, Alex.
You're not reacting. You have to be proactive. You know what? Saquon Barkley's been a franchise player. Yes, you can make the argument, he wouldn't be as successful, with the Giants. But here's the thing, though. You could have franchised Daniel Jones. And I said this should have been the plan for the Giants as an outside fan. I said the Giants in 2023 should have franchised Daniel Jones. You signed Saquon Barkley long-term. You give yourself further flexibility. That, Alex and Rob, was also an argument. Flexibility. If they franchised Daniel Jones, it would have given you less flexibility somehow. I don't know how that makes sense, but that was an argument that was given to y'all.
Luca, you know what I was told? I was told the caps, and Alex, you were there. I was told the cap is fixed. It's fixed. It's fixed. We couldn't give money to a Girl Scout for fucking cookies right now. But it's fixed. The cap is fixed. But we couldn't buy Girl Scout cookies right now. We really couldn't.
Yeah, this is the problem with the team, is that he is so naive. Like, to me, Joe Shane is that nerdy friend that you've had. We all had him, where he thinks he's hot shot because he got the new toy, and you're like, dude, I already have that model. But he's sitting there saying like, yeah, I got this new fucking shiny toy. You're like, bro, I have the fucking updated PS5 in my living room. You're sitting there, I just got PS4. Look at me. Like, give me a break. Joe Shane is not meant to be a GM. He fucking puts around. He gets caught on hot mics saying, at least you don't have to look for a quarterback. He's hoeing himself out there, going to every freaking quarterback under the sun, shaking ass for fucking Cam Ward and fucking Shedeur Sanders, yet now has the chance to tell Brian Dable, look, Brian, pull Tracy, pull Malik Neighbors, pull these guys out the game. Let's see Jalen Hyatt play. Let's see, whatever that other kid's, the kid with 3 names, Bryce Ford Wheaton, right? Let's see these players play. No, instead, Brian Dable wants to fucking win. Why? What is that? Because he needs a job. What job is he playing for? He was a shitty offensive coordinator up until he met fucking Josh Allen. And Josh Allen fucking made him. If anything, he should give Josh Allen his fucking retirement watch, because if it's not for him, Brian Dable wouldn't have a fucking job right now. He'd be on a fucking Patriot team somewhere diddling himself. Who knows? Okay? This guy is not a good coach. I don't want him here. And no one's going to come here and work with fucking dumbass Shane as their fucking boss. So we probably have to keep them both just because they're both idiots and no one's going to work with this clown show. I mean, think about this. The defensive coordinator that we have now was the 4th choice. The 4th choice of a defensive coordinator. Not the first. The 4th. Why? Because the first one went to the shit show that is Tennessee because he believed in more longevity. Meanwhile, our coach went in there on Hard Knocks like a fat kid at a candy store and said, look, I got coupons, right? Like, look at his PFF scores. Like, who gives a shit about his fucking PFF scores? The guy was one of the worst defensive coordinators in the league. The only thing he did well was 3rd down and red zone. That's it. And he wasn't even that good. And then all of a sudden, this defense, look at this defense, top 10 defense, top 10. We were a top 10 defense for like all but 2 seconds. We sacked all these teams that had bad offensive lines, from the Redskins to the Browns to all these other teams. We haven't sacked the quarterbacks on the same regularity since fucking mid-season. Brian Burns over there, I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Kayvon Thibodeau finally showed up on the stat sheet after he got blocked by a tight end. Like, this guy doesn't do anything all game, gets a sack and then dances. I mean, this defense gave up 33 points to a fucking Colts team that is ass, and yet we're sitting here praising them because that team was dumb enough to give us 45 points on all the shit that they did. We haven't had there's a lot of things we've done in the history of this Giant team. We had a 100-yard kickoff return in this game. That's the longest kickoff return we've had in our 100-year history, and hadn't had one since 2015. Okay, that's crazy.
You know what the Shane? I figured it out. You know what the Shane Bowen hiring is like?
Oh God.
The Shane Bowen hiring is like when you go to your buddies and they all know that you're a virgin, so they say, "Listen, we're gonna get you laid for the first time," and they say you need to go on this site. So they send you to the back pages, and your first list, you see some really hot fucking bitches, right? You see some really good ones, but they're kind of pricey. So you go down to the next one. It's, man, this one looks good. Oh man, I don't know if I'm ready to pay that. Is that per hour? You go down to the next one, and then finally you think there's minimal pictures, but you're like, yeah, maybe from this angle, and it's the cheapest fucking one that you've seen. It's like $80, and then she shows up, and she's got crooked teeth, she's got hair on her fucking legs, and she doesn't shave her fucking vagina. Okay, that's what Shane Bowen. That's what Shane Bowen is.
Yeah,
okay, that's what Shane Bowen is, and the best part about it is you fucked that bitch, and you thought you got a good deal, and you go to your boys and you said, "Yeah, guys, I fucked the shit out of that bitch. I lost my virginity," and that's Shane Bowen. That's what it is. That's what you did, Joey. Bravo.
Yeah. And then they show up in STD. Joey. That's what happens.
Bravo, Brian.
Shane Bowen's
man.
STD.
You got it. You fucked the $80 fucking backstage hooker that had fucking crabs, that had a hairy fucking pussy. Congratulations.
I would have used a different analogy. I would have been like, you're at the club.
No, this is perfect.
You're late at the club.
Because this organization is a fucking whorehouse. That's what it is. The Giants are a fucking whorehouse. And fucking John Merritt thinks he's Hugh Hefner. And he's hiring out all these fucking sluts. I'm surprised he doesn't show up to the games in a fucking robe and a fucking little pipe. I'm surprised he doesn't do that shit. He might. I'd actually have more respect if he did that. You know what, Johnny? Show up to the stadiums wearing nothing but a red and gold fucking robe, right? With maybe a white little like little towel that comes out of the chest there to hide your, if you have any fucking meat hanging right here, right? If you have any hair meat, right? One
Yeah.
hand inside the pocket,
Hair meat.
pipe in the right hand here with some nice Louis Vuitton slippers, and maybe a bitch or two on your side. I'd have a little bit more respect for you, Johnny.
On that note,
Yeah, that was oh
yeah, man, you got to save some for the rest of the week, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
trust me, trust me, dude. I've got a lot to give.
and that in the entire off season. And by the way, may I just advertise this show is not for kids, as you can clearly see.
Yeah, this is rated PG-13.
Clearly not for kids.
I'm not joking. That whole rant, I probably saw stars for a good 60 seconds. I'm laughing so
Man,
hard.
I'm all
Oh my
ranting
God.
out, bro.
I'm happy to help you, Brian.
Once you
happy to
get
help
past all this emotion and rant and taking your anger out, we
They're
gotta
not. I'm
start
gonna take
thinking
my.
about when
You can't get past it.
when something doesn't work, you go to the next plan. What's the plan from here on? That's what we gotta come
Wait,
up.
no. See, here's the
We
problem.
have to.
Here's the problem. Okay, we've had the same plan for the last 4 years, and it hasn't worked. All we had to do was lose a game, miss a kick here, don't do this, and we'd have our quarterback. So what the fucking plan is? The plan is we need a fucking quarterback, and we have none. That's the fucking plan. We have no plan.
That's
You
the plan.
say that,
The plan's gonna be
Joe
about.
Shane's going to have a plan. What has Joe Shane done? He's not shown you he has a plan this entire time. We are rudderless, okay? We are a rudderless team. We're in the middle of the ocean, just fucking stranded there. That's what the fuck we're doing. Trying everything. Tread water.
How many more yards does Barkley need?
I think 100.
101.
He's going to get that in the first half.
He's going to get that in the first quarter.
Yeah. Then they're
Okay,
gonna
he
sit the
plays.
starters
Yeah,
down.
and then this is what's going to happen. Let me lay it down for you.
Oh boy.
Tomorrow, next week,
Oh, joy.
everybody's going to try to believe that the Giants are going to lose. Trying to believe.
Oh no.
Let me
They're not
tell
gonna
you.
lose.
Let me tell you what's going to happen. Barkley's going to come out there, and he's gonna dominate us in the first quarter. He's gonna get that shit in the first fucking quarter, and then they're gonna sit him. Jalen is gonna play another quarter, and they're gonna sit him. And good old Kenny Pickett today, who did the fucking pump fake of the century. He faked himself out. Okay, he's gonna come in, and Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, they're gonna go to town next week on Kenny Pickett. Okay, Elijah Chapman, the unsung hero of the offseason. Watts, no, not Watts. He had a decimated injury. The guy 90, Garcia. Oh yeah.
Elijah
Summers with the with the Boz fucking neck brace. All right, he's good. We are going to win next week.
No.
Against the Philadelphia Eagles. We
No.
are going to win. And guys like Cop Pizzle, guys like fat fucks like Sean Marash, that's on WFAN, okay? Which that WFAN should be embarrassed that fat bald piece of shit is even calling fucking sports news for that fucking. They got Tiki and they got him. They're seriously fucked, okay? But that's a topic for another conversation. But Sean Marash is going to be. Those guys, they're gonna be so happy. They're gonna talk shit. They're legit going to talk shit to the Eagles when they've won the fucking division, and you are at the bottom. You are actually at the bottom of your division. You've got 4 wins. You're gonna have 4 wins, and you're not even gonna have a top 3 pick in the draft. Imagine. And that's the other thing before that was saying that things don't go wrong for the Giants. Imagine the Giants having 3 wins and having the fourth worst record in the National Football League. Name another time where you've had this many 3-win fucking teams. Name it. Don't worry, I'll wait. Never.
It's been a long time.
Never. It's been a very long time. But the Giants, we can't have anything easy. We can't have anything good, right? So be prepared. Because the game is going to start off next week. Man, the Eagles, they're going to pound our ass. Pause. But it's going to end in triumph as the New York Giants get a victory to end the 2024 season and go into the offseason with hope. Oh, and by the way, on Black Monday, the Terror Twins will be back.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Joe Shane might actually put Dabes through a fucking table off of his fucking desk. He might do it. They actually might do it. The New York Bills are back in action. Coming to a theater near you.
I hope not.
But don't worry. Joe Shane's got us, ladies and gentlemen, because he couldn't have it easy. No. Because that would be the logical thing to do. He's got to make it a fucking story. Right? He's got to make it a big story. The topic is going to be from Rich Eisen, Ian Rappaport, all of these guys. Man, G. Willikers, oh golly gee, Joe Shane traded up and got his guy. He identified his quarterback, and he pulled the trade off of the century.
Jackson Dart.
And he pulled his pants down, and he said, Elliot Wolf, fuck my ass. Give it to me without the lubrication. And he got it. And he got the quarterback he wanted. He got Shedeur Sanders. But you had to give up anal cream. You had to put on Preparation H just to deal with it. Just to deal with it. You might actually see the Preparation H in his coat pocket when they go to him in the war room. He might have it in there. You know what? See that guy from the movie? You know that guy from the movie from Blue Streak where he's putting on the war cream in his pants? And then he goes to shake Martin Lawrence's fucking hand. And he's like, no, I don't want to shake that. That's what it's going to be with Joe Shane. You know what I'm talking? You've seen Blue Streak. You remember what I'm talking about. But anybody who's seen Blue Streak, if you haven't, go watch it. You'll know. The guy goes into his office, puts on some fucking cream, and then he goes to shake Martin Lawrence's hands. Oh, yeah.
Can I say two things real quick? First of all,
I'll go after you, Luca.
First of all, Rob is just he's unbelievable with his rants. They're funny as hell. But first of all, I know Miz was saying, once you guys get it past the emotional, that shit. Adam and Rob are emotional because they're logical fans and they're seeing that the logical side of what should be done in the organization is not happening, and that the GM that's executing the plan doesn't have a plan B or a plan C or a plan D. He's reactive. That's what I said earlier. And you know what? Who I think is really happy about this, because this guy has been saying, "Oh, I've been personally attacked on Twitter. Oh, this, that, and the third." You know who's really happy? And I mentioned him earlier, Art Stapleton. I think he's really happy inside that Giants fans are pissed.
Oh yeah, I mean, and then there's other people who decide to carry water, but we have two guests backstage. I'm going to let them in, but I want to let you guys get your final thoughts in. I'm going to start with Adam, then Miz, then Rob.
Well, my final thoughts are this fucking team needs to take a reality check and get us the fucking quarterback that we fucking need. I don't want to hear about this guy or that guy. The mission remains the same. If you beat the Eagles, then you have to suffer the consequence of trading up from 9 to 6 to 5 to 4 to whatever the hell you do to get your quarterback. I don't want to hear that I'm going to go trade for Jackson Dart later. Go get your quarterback now. This team sucks. I'm tired of watching it. And if they don't walk away in April with a legit actual guy in the draft, you can kiss me goodbye as a fucking fan, because I am going to go watch Joe Burrow, who's having a fucking fantastic year over in fucking Cincinnati with a team that actually knows how to fucking win.
Okay. All right. Well, Miz, you're up next.
Oh, man. Listen. First of all, we got to see if these two guys are coming back or whatever it's going to be. But let's just say they're both coming back for a moment. I believe this is why I'm calm, and that could change next Sunday if we beat Philly. But I believe Shane has been all over this guy for so many months, and the chance to move up is there's definitely a better chance this year than it was in last year's draft. So New England already has their quarterback. I believe Shane will go up and get Shedeur Sanders, because that's the guy he really wants. So that's why I'm not panicking yet. I will start to do homework on the secondary QBs, unfortunately. The Oregon kid, the Texans kid. Is there a chance for a trade for JJ? I know that looks stupid because we could have had him last year and they didn't take him, but this is where we're at right now. Yeah, I'll just tell the guys, get off the Verrazano Bridge, Adam and Rob. Don't jump yet. Let's just see what happens. Let it play out. I know it hasn't played out the way you wanted it the last few years, but
You like driving with no headlights on, huh? That's you.
I just
Nick
think
likes to
Shane's
drive with
gonna
no
do what he
headlights
got to
on.
do this year. I think he's gonna do what he got to do. You're not gonna have to give up that much either. You're not giving up 3 1s and all. It's not gonna be like that. If you're 4th in the draft, you're gonna give up your 4. You're probably gonna give up a 2. It may not have to be this year. It could be next year's. And I think you'll get up there to get your guy.
Okay.
Well, I just want to say this. Thanks for having me. And you guys have a great night.
Yeah, you too, Adam.
Have Happy New Year.
And then Rob, before I drop you guys and we get the next 2 on.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me. I'll be listening in the chat.
All right.
Later, Miz. Oh boy. Look, today and really the last 3 years, it's like watching the house that you built burn down in front of your face, and there's nothing that you can do about it. It's really what it feels like. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm of the belief. This is what I feel. I do feel that Dable might be gone. Joe Shane might be retained. The fact that there's even controversy in the building, according to Diana Rossini's report, that it's a split, whatever, blah, 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 and that John is advocating for these people is a clown show to me. I'm going to make a prediction here. And this was never my prediction. This was a joke. But I'd be very scared to see it actually come to pass. If they fire Brian Dable, I think Liam Cohen is going to be a guy that they bring in from Tampa. And you know who they're going to bring in with him?
Oh, no.
Will fucking Levis.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
They're going to bring him in, Will fucking Levis, because he worked with him in Kentucky. Oh, and by the way, he's reuniting with his favorite wide receiver in Wando Robinson, right? They're going to cook. And they may take a shot at a quarterback in the 2nd or 3rd round. I said this as a joke, but now I believe it to be true. They are going to, if they fire Dable, they are going to bring in Liam Cohen, and they are going to trade. They are going to trade unless he's released. But we all know shit like that doesn't happen to the Giants. They acquire players stupidly. They will trade for Will Levis, which will probably be a 3rd round pick, 4th round pick. They'll probably something along those lines. They'll trade for him. And the talk with Art and all of these people is going to be, he's reuniting. Look at what he did with Baker. He's reuniting with Will Levis, and look at what Will did in college, and oh my God, and Wandale, and yes, and that's what it's going to be. Yeah, it's going to be a real stinker, Alex. It's going to be a real fucking stinker. Now, Brian, I don't know. You've been wearing a couple of Bucks uniforms. I don't know if you're a Bucks fan or if you're a Giants fan, or you are a Bucks. Fan. Okay, you're a Bucks fan. So I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Now, I don't think that will come to pass, right? Because that would be a somewhat smart thing for the Giants to do. And the Giants, we know they don't do smart things. They don't do that. They don't do that at all. But I'm actually open to Liam Cohen strictly because, I don't know, I look at the NFL rankings and they're pretty balanced in Tampa. Pretty balanced in Tampa with the run and the pass. I think they've got like 38 passing touchdowns, about 14 or 15 rushing touchdowns, maybe a little bit more after this week. But, the big thing with Baker last year is he had a really good resurgence. Callahan goes to Tennessee. Is Baker going to regress? And Liam Cohen takes over as the OC. And Baker looks better this year than he fucking did last year and is having a phenomenal year. There's also rumors that maybe Todd Bowles will get bumped down or get released and Liam Cohen will get the job. Who knows in Tampa? But But that's my thing. And I'll do this. I'll go one further for you, Alex, really quickly. I'm sorry. I don't know if you have a piece of paper or pen if you want to write this down, or you know what, this will be a record. Okay. I'm gonna give you some hot takes, and we'll see if they're correct at the end of the year. Pete Carroll will be the new Bears head coach in 2025. Okay, that's one. I'm of the belief that Brian Dable and Joe Shane will return as the head coach and GM for the New York Giants. I'm going to say that Kyle Shanahan is going to eat. I really want to say he's going to Vegas. I kind of, but I'm not ready yet. I'm going to say Vrabel goes to Vegas as the head coach because Tom is there, and Tom's going to say, like, come help me, Mike. Help me rebuild the Vegas franchise. The Raiders, help me. And I'm going to say Kyle Shanahan goes. I'm going to say Kyle goes to a team like the Saints. Maybe the Saints, who might have a one that they can give up. Maybe they trade for him. Saints send a player or something like that over there that allows the 49ers to get a higher draft pick because maybe the Saints won't be good, right? Something along those lines. Those are some of my coaching predictions. I'm going to say Kyle Shanahan to like New Orleans, something like that. Pete to Chicago. We will stay the same. I think that's where I'm leaning right now. That could change, but I'm kind of feeling. We'll see if some of those come to pass.
Yeah. Well, Rob, it's always a pleasure having you on. Obviously, we'll talk in the spaces or in the Twitter group chat.
Of course,
you're always a firepower. We'll keep track of your predictions. Hopefully, that Liam Cohen one does exist, just not with the Will Levis part. I know, making Brian very angry at this moment. But,
sorry, Brian.
Yeah, so
No, it's okay.
It might have been the fact of you changing your wardrobe like three times in the last like half an hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah, but the reason why is because I wore the T-shirt they gave me, which was a Doc Rivers head. To my fact, I'm a Bucks fan, Milwaukee Bucks, so I just did that, and then it got too hot, so I switched back to the Bucks gear. But
you had a different hat on before, though.
Yeah,
I did, yeah, and it's actually back on the shelf now. It's hidden.
Okay.
What I will say is with the whole Liam Cohen thing, the same thing I told them earlier. I'm of the belief, as much as other Bucks fans, that we need to fire Todd Bowles no matter what happens. We wanted him fired last year, and that didn't happen. This year, there is no excuse. The offense is playing at a higher level than it did with Dave Canales, who's actually doing a decent job with Carolina despite their record. It's pretty decent.
Tennessee. That's right.
Now, with Cohen, the reason why it's a big deal is because Bucky. I'm gonna bring up the same stat I said earlier. Bucky Irving just became the first 1,000-yard rusher for Tampa Bay since 2015 with Doug Martin. Our running game has been absolutely horrid for the last 8 to 9 years. Like, we haven't been outside of the basement of the league in that category. This year, we're 4th in rushing yards per game, and I believe we're in the top 5 in passing yards per game. Like you said, Baker's about to hit 40 touchdowns passing alone, and he's already
which he's never done.
Yards. Yep, never, not even in Cleveland. And he's eclipsed 4,000 yards passing. And the whole offense has been nothing but miraculous, and the only reason Tampa Bay's even alive at this point. The defense of Todd Bowles has failed. We're of the mindset he needs to be fired and that we need to move Cohen up because the defense has done nothing but regress since the Super Bowl. Since Super Bowl year, I would say even after the year we probably should have beat the Rams, but that little miracle drive happened. Ever since that year, our defense has been on a downturn. We're not getting pressure. We're not getting sacks. We're not covering well. And it's just been never getting better. What they need to do is make Cohen the new head coach. Let him keep calling the plays on offense. Let him keep running the offense as the coordinator as well. But then bring in a good defensive mind. And if he's willing to, I would try and snatch Mike Vrabel before he gets a head coaching job. That would be my call. Again, Tampa Bay probably not going to do anything I said because the Glazers are very self-centered.
Yeah, as we've seen in the past. But
yes,
always good talking to you, Rob. Hope you had a happy holiday. Have a happy New Year, and of course, we'll talk per usual.
Indeed. Appreciate you guys.
Later, man.
Happy New Year.
All right. Final two guests of the evening, one who is a Seahawks fan and one who is a Jets fan. We got Jose.
Luca, Brian, nice to meet you. Guys, I have one question.
Sure.
Yes.
How the fuck are we supposed to follow that? How the fuck are we supposed to follow that? How do we follow that? How do we follow that?
Yeah, he's asking, how do you? I see what he's talking about. Yeah, Rob is an interesting creature. I mean, he's very unpredictable with his rants. He's very unpredictable. But I knew today he was gonna, you know, with the Giants winning out of draft position or whatnot. So, oh boy.
How are you guys?
Good.
I've been better.
Doing good.
I've been better considering the circumstances and this shit right here.
Listen, me and Armand went through the same shit 4 years ago, right, Armand?
Oh, the fucking Rams game.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, I watch Sunday Night Football. The Falcons can pull it out. Otherwise, let's see how eliminated from playoffs.
Yeah, there's
Because of something stupid called strength of schedule. What the fuck is strength of schedule? And
How would you define it, Luca? Strength of schedule.
It's the remaining teams you have to play based on win percentage.
oh,
Like if
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're win percentage.
The Falcons are in the red zone. They're down by 7, just to
And
give
they
you an
just
update.
Thanks, Armand. And I'm watching the game intently, hoping Atlanta loses. Our best chance to make the playoffs is Atlanta losing.
It's
And
And for
2:25
Seattle,
left.
and it's for Seattle. They need Washington to
I'm
lose.
ahead of both of you.
Oh shit. Oh no. He down.
Exactly.
Oh,
Oh,
boy.
no. Oh no.
that's
Oh
bad.
no. It's right.
Oh, that's really
The
bad.
Falcons.
The Falcons scored, didn't they?
No.
No.
There
They had
was
a bad snap.
It was a bad snap
The
that flew over
Falcons-
back behind the
The
25.
Falcons tried to get cute.
They tried to snap it to Bijan Robinson, went over his head, bounced back to like the 25, and then they tackled him
So now it's second and goal.
from the 25.
Yep. So that works in your favor.
I would like to say one thing. Fuck the Falcons.
All right.
Brian,
I love hearing that.
Yeah, Brian's
Makes
loving
me
that
happy.
because he needs the Falcons to lose for playoff hopes, I believe.
Yeah, I don't like the Bucks either. But I'm not.
All I can say is, Brian, enjoy Todd Bowles next year. Liam Cohen is as good as
Yeah.
gone.
yeah, bye-bye,
Oh my
Liam Cohen.
God.
It's not
This
that
will
I
be
don't,
2 years in a row we lose our offensive coordinator right after the season. 2 years in a row.
It's not that I don't like the Bucks. It's that I hate their fucking owner.
Oh, Glazers? Yeah. I don't like the Glazers either. I felt that way for a long time, but we had a really good general manager, so I can't really hate anything. It's all general manager. The owner does nothing at this point.
Well,
Is there any good owner in the NFL that
I
fans
was-
actually like?
Arthur Blank, Atlanta,
That's because he made food cheap in these stadiums.
Armin,
and it tastes pretty good. I heard too.
Armin.
Yes, Jose.
I think me, you, and Luca could all agree. We wish Woody Douglas Woody Johnson would do nothing.
Yeah, he would do nothing.
Oh, Woody
I wish he'd
Johnson.
fall off a cliff.
I wish you'd look in a mirror, see how terrible he is a person, then croak. Like scare yourself to death with how ugly you are.
Yeah, that's it. That's always an alternative. Luca, let me ask you a question because Jose is here. Are you winning in the fantasy league?
I am. I have a 72% chance to win the championship right now. I'm facing Romeo in Jose's league.
Yes, you are.
Congratulations.
And this
I
video
wish I was in that boat.
And this video isn't gonna get monetized because of the other cursing we had. And that's just what I mean.
He's right. He's so right.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
The freaking rants is gonna kill it.
Rob, I mean,
Rob single-handedly just took all monetization possibilities out the window.
Can I shout out my channel?
yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
Sports Talk with Jose Rodriguez. Come follow me for the craziness and stupidity and pettiness.
I'll put it in the chat, Jose.
Luca, you know I'm petty and crazy.
Yes.
You
Very
know.
much.
Thank you, Alex. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, 3rd and goal, Atlanta.
How is your guys' holiday?
Alex, I know.
Alex, I know you like your gift.
Oh no, I hate my gift.
I know.
Alex, you should wear it next week for the game, whether
Yeah.
you go or not.
You know what? You
I'm not
do have
going.
to wear it once. It is a requirement. I wore the Doc River shirt. You
Wait,
got to wear the shirt too.
What? You did not say that when I presented.
Yeah,
the
well,
gift.
I'm adding it now because Luca, are you going to wear the Justin Dur the Suffering shirt?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so he's going to wear it, and I wore my shirt. You going to be the diva and not wear it?
I will take a picture of Alex or record a video wearing the shirt.
That would be absolutely wonderful. I would appreciate that very much. I also want a video of him saying EAGLES Eagles.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, he's going to be rooting for the
That's
Eagles,
what he.
right?
This is what he deserves. Atlanta just scored a touchdown.
Yes.
On 4th and goal.
Yes. Hey,
Good job, Brian.
yes, you're right.
It's
Yeah,
karma, I guess, but still, I stand by it. You have to wear the shirt. We all wore ours. You have to wear yours.
Fine. Eli says, "Why not trade for Bryce Young and JJ McCarthy?" How about no?
No.
I'm
Let the
going to
Jets
tell
trade
you
for
there.
JJ.
I think if you do get Cohen would definitely not go and get Levis. I think that's a huge misconception. Just because they were together at Kentucky doesn't mean that he's going to want him as part of his team. You know, if you really think back to the Will Levis era of Kentucky football, it really wasn't much.
You want history to repeat itself, Alex? You're going to get Sam Darnold as your quarterback.
That'd be funny. I do think the JJ thing is a decent idea.
Now,
But that's if you're willing. That's if you're willing
No,
for a placeholder.
Hey, Alex,
yes.
if you want history to repeat itself, give us a 2nd round pick and we'll give you Geno Smith.
I don't think so. No, I won't.
I'll say you don't want that because you might bring in Kirk Cousins.
No, I don't want Kirk Cousins neither. But
even better, you might get Aaron Rodgers.
What?
who?
Oh.
You are the Giants.
Fuck no. Hell
Yes.
no.
Giants get Aaron Rodgers.
No
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers.
Guys, ask me who I want as my quarterback next year.
Okay, who do you want as your quarterback next year?
Justin Fields.
Oh, Christ almighty.
That actually, I don't hate that. I don't hate it.
Not a terrible idea.
Because he doesn't fuck up games.
Yeah.
Yeah, kinda.
I think you guys have a good head coach in Seattle. He's very smart. I think Justin can work over there.
They have a very good defense. The only problem all season has been Geno throwing the ball to the wrong fucking team.
That's been mostly the story this year. Yeah, I'll say that much.
I like this idea right here. Right here. Oh, Jets gotta get Daniel Jones.
No.
He'll back up Tyrod Taylor. What the fuck we gotta lose?
No, he's gonna start. What do you mean?
Tyrod would probably be the starter.
I'll,
Yeah,
I'll,
but listen, it's not going to help much when you got Garrett Wilson in a Texans uniform.
Oh God.
why would he be a Texan?
That's the
Stephon Diggs is
rumors.
the
That the
free
top
agent,
team
and
they're
Tank
rumoring
Dell
is
injured.
Houston. And they're saying that it looks like Garrett's probably not going to come back to the Jets. There's a good chance he doesn't.
Well, and remember, they're losing Diggs to free agency after this season.
Exactly.
Yep.
You're right.
So they got an open spot. And as great as Nico Collins is, you're going to need another receiver in there.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, that's a.
I would know. I got CJ. If they trade Garrett, they just got to trade everybody and start from ground zero.
The only
I
people
agree.
you can't trade, you cannot trade Brees Hall for anything.
Yes, you
That's
can.
one of my guys.
Yes,
that's,
you
To
can.
me, that's off the table. I wouldn't
Brian,
trade Brees.
Yeah.
he's going into his final year of his contract. He was a second round
Wait,
pick.
Brees is going to his final year.
He was a second round pick, Brian.
Heck, he only has 4
Oh, yeah,
years
that's
on-
right. Shit. Okay, yeah. So then
I'm
he's on
definitely
the table
trading
to be
Brees
moved.
Hall.
Everybody's on the fucking table. All their heads.
And
Every
there's good
single one of them.
good running backs in this draft, so it's worth the look. This
You
Exactly.
got 2 young guys already. You might as well sign a veteran running back to be with
Braylon and Isaiah Davis.
I do think also the whole hype of Shador ending up a Giant. I don't know if that's going to happen.
Well, now.
I
mean,
could definitely
What
see
team
the
in the
Giants.
top 10 would Dion want him to go to?
I'm going to say this very boldly.
The Raiders.
The Giants aren't taking a
too
QB in
far
the first
down.
round. They're not taking a QB in the first round this year.
The Raiders. Mark my words.
The Raiders.
Well, they fucked it up
They
by
won
winning
round.
back-to-back games, Jose. They fucked up. And it's going to cost them a lot
Alex-
more.
Garrett
Alex-
Wilson as a child,
Alex-
crazy.
Malik, please do the way you did to Robin. Write this down. The Raiders
Write it down.
Oh yeah.
The Raiders are going to trade up to draft Shador Sanders.
Okay, that has been written down on the piece of paper.
I don't know if that.
You
I don't
think
know about
Kretz is
Shador.
going to help out Brady to go from 1 to 8?
You got a point.
I didn't say number one. They could trade.
Tennessee's not trading. Tennessee is taking the
They
quarterback.
could trade with the Browns.
Cleveland's going to go defense. That's number
Cleveland's
3.
definitely gonna go
Shador's not
defense, but I
falling to
don't know.
number 3.
Well,
Shador
no,
and Ward are 1 and
Cleveland
2.
could go quarterback, but it depends. They probably wait till next year, not this year.
Yeah, they probably wait for the Nussmeier draft.
Yeah, they'll probably wait for that. I mean, I like Nussmeier a lot.
Not Nussmeier.
I do think. Let me look at the rest of this draft order at the moment, because I even posted about it today. I said I saw some reporter posted, "Oh, they're gonna go from Giants gonna go 1 to 4 today if they lose." I was like, no. If Cleveland wins, they don't go to 4, they go to 3. But the problem is, the Cleveland's smart with their tank job. They went ahead and benched Jameis Winston to the 3rd spot and let Dorian Thompson-Robinson play quarterback. That is how you tank, because Dorian Thompson-Robinson is not a starter caliber quarterback in the league and will not thrive against the Miami defense, which could play like Swiss cheese sometimes. So Giants should really take a page out of Stefanski's book.
I agree.
Another guy that's not going to get fired.
You know what? Here's the thing. I think Armand, I think you're going to agree with me. I think the Giants should keep Brian Dable. One less vacancy.
No.
He's done
Shut
such
up.
a great
Shut up,
job.
Luca.
No.
Shut up. Super chat here, $4.99 from Craven the Bunter. Appreciate it. Nothing matters unless you have a quarterback. Winning made getting one in the draft cost more than it would have. We're locked on to Jameis.
I'm going to tell you, if the Giants end up with Jameis Winston,
Oh,
I
God.
wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Miss-
That's all I'm going to say.
I don't mind
It's
him
gonna
as
be
a
very
backup
funny.
or as a bridge, but like I want a fucking quarterback in the draft.
That's why you roll with Jameis.
Alex-
He plays risky
Alex-
football, and he's got a cannon.
Alex,
Yes.
the only thing James Winston is gonna give you is crap that he stole.
Crab legs that he stole.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there was the crab leg story or whatever the hell that was.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He stole crab legs the year he came out, right before he came
Yes.
out.
I was going to say, Laramie Tunsil got caught with the gas mask. Is still one of the best old linemen in the league.
That's true.
Yeah, but that's learning.
That video was old.
That was
It just
old,
got
yes.
released the day of the draft.
By his
Hmm.
stepdad.
So
Allegedly.
sick.
No, but you know what's going to happen? Drew Lock is going to come back next year because he won today. He's going to come back.
I think the Paisans also run his course. I don't think he's coming back.
Good.
Tim Boyle will be QB2 on the Giants.
I love that. Yes, Armand. I love that idea.
Oh, Washington, what have you done?
Thank you, Washington. Good job, Atlanta.
What did Washington do?
They're going to punt with 50 seconds left in the
They
game.
went 3-0.
All Atlanta needs is a field goal.
It was 40 seconds.
So I
I don't
actually,
I don't want to go for the Panthers next week.
I will say this because Luca always fights me on this.
Oh,
I put
boy.
up a poll in the chat that said, "Who is worse off, the Giants or the Jets?" We
I
got
said,
40
I said the Giants. No,
Okay.
I said the Jets.
He says the Jets.
Yes.
So 48 votes, 56% say the Giants said are worst off.
What?
How is that? Wait,
14?
wait.
14. Hold on. 14 years without the playoffs. 14. You guys have had a Super Bowl in those 14 years. Are you kidding me? And you could still draft a quarterback.
And how about the fact that since Woody Johnson became owner, we have never had an experienced head coach.
Exactly.
You had Tom Coughlin that came in at one time because your ownership decided to grow a set of balls. Where mine just has, it's like a Ken doll down there.
Wait, hold on.
Anatomically
Wait.
Correct.
You guys had an experienced head coach. His name was Adam Gase.
That was Christopher Johnson, Alex.
No, that was Peyton Manning and his bullshit.
Got Raiders fan pops in the chat says you lost the first overall pick. Go Raiders.
You're still outside the top 5, buddy.
And you're
That's the only thing I could say. But
and that's a completion to the 45. Son of a.
They're gonna get Mike
bitch.
Vrabel, and we're gonna get Wes Phillips. That's who we're gonna get. We're gonna get Wes
Penix is
Phillips.
about to have a
No, I
legacy
think-
drive, and
again,
he's
I
going to
think
make me lose
Brian-
my sanity.
I think Brian Dable should stay.
Yeah, Mike's got
One less
plenty.
vacancy.
At least
And
the
Joe
Jets
Shane, too.
will have a new coach and a GM, and they'll have an established quarterback in Aaron Rodgers.
But you have Woody Johnson as the owner. Look at how much leaks came out of the organization the last 2 years. Do you think how attractive is this job, honestly?
Not at all.
Exactly,
It's not.
Jose. Thank you. It's not attractive.
Mm-mm.
Hey,
You have
Luca.
a pissed off fan base. You have a meddling owner who refuses to give up power, who won't pay the proper money for a head coach. Harbaugh, Peyton.
And he has 2 sons that have porn star names that they should be on OnlyFans and not in the goddamn.
And they're
office
meddling,
building.
yes. Only the Jets.
Bunch of teenagers.
11 seconds. Come on.
Well, you're waiting for Atlanta
Thank
to
you.
not pull it off.
All right, 7 seconds.
It's
Third
time.
and 10.
7 seconds.
Penix is just overthrowing his receivers today. He's just not.
That should have been a penalty.
I mean, if you're missing he's sailing these passes, though. He is missing the target. You can watch on the replay, Armand. I think you have it on, right?
I have the game on. I got
watch.
7 seconds left.
Oh, yeah, that could have been a
10.
flag. That could have been a flag. You're right.
Yes.
I agree with Mike. The job is attractive for the Giants since they blew the number 1 pick.
But again, 14 years without playoffs, 9 years without a winning season, 20 plus
Where's
years
your
without
shirt,
a
Luca?
playoff game. What?
Where's your shirt?
Put the shirt on now, Luca. Just wear
And
it
how
now
many-
for the rest of the
You
show.
might as well.
And how many?
Hold on,
Also,
give me a
let's also
second.
add this part because this is my favorite part to add. How many years without a Super Bowl?
Since 1960, before any of us were born.
Since
And I'm the
1969.
oldest one on here. I'm going to be 40 next year.
Let's
I wasn't
see,
even
19,
born.
19.
My mom.
You're talking about 55 years without a Super Bowl.
My mom has just turned 1. That's how old. That's how long it's been.
Oh,
The Jets' job is attractive because of the owner.
that's true, but here's the thing. Same can be said for both teams. Same can be said. Jobs aren't attractive because of the owners. Mara is not. After the rate you heard from Rob, it's very clear. The owners are not. The owner of the Giants is not attractive. And same with the Jets.
How can we forget that rant?
Yeah, nobody. That rant was.
That was top tier.
No, that might be the best rant we've seen in a long while.
Oh, wow.
Washington, are you
Thank
kidding
you,
me?
ref. Thank you, ref.
Washington, what the hell?
What happened?
Thank you, ref. Pass interference.
Can somebody teach these D linemen to not jump off sides, please?
You could
It's
try.
going to be another game that they cost because they jump over the line.
7
seconds left, 3rd and 5.
Pass
If they just get a
interference.
quick little first down out to the sideline, let Young
Pass
Wei Koo
interference
try to
on
make a
Washington.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Yes.
flag just now on 3rd and 5.
I didn't see the play yet.
Oh boy.
Here we go. Let's see how bad it is.
2 seconds left.
What yard line?
In what freaking world? That happened at the 30.
Uh-oh.
He tugs the jersey, Brian. He's great.
I gotta see the replay.
I got to see this because I have the NBC live stream.
I have NFL Plus, so I'm watching it on my phone. Oh yeah. I see what you mean. He grabbed him by the front of the jersey and he pulled on the back. Yeah, can't be doing that. That's another guy who quietly had a really good year. Darnell Mooney
Yeah.
Yes.
had a really good year with Atlanta.
Traded for Desmond Ritter.
Mm-hmm. Look how that's
Yes.
worked out.
Yes, indeed. Well, 2 hours and 20 minutes. I guess during final thoughts, we'll see how this will either go overtime or
If it goes
56
to overtime,
yard
I guess we'll
attempt.
close.
56 yards. I guess we'll wait for that.
He's going for the field goal?
Overtime.
I gotta see this. I gotta watch. Nobody spoil it, please. I gotta watch this.
He's
My
praying.
whole sanity rests on this game.
My sanity rests on this game.
Oh wait, Young Wei Koo isn't suited up?
No.
Is he injured?
Riley Patterson.
Oh, he's oh.
Wow,
no.
what a kick.
Oh no.
What a kick by Riley Patterson.
Armin.
Up. Yeah, that's a freaking dart. But it's missed. Oh
Armin.
shit.
Armin.
That
Yes,
would have been
Jose.
in. That would have been through.
Armin.
Yes.
That kicker makes Greg Zerline look good.
He makes Zerline look like a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He came up just short
Guys.
on that. Let me see how much distance he missed out on.
Guys,
That had to be like about a yard or two.
thank you for having me.
Let's see, and
I love to talk to you.
yeah, it's about a yard.
course,
No,
Jose.
that is well
Appreciate it,
less than a
Jose.
yard.
Guys,
Best of luck in the new year.
have
Yes.
a happy new year.
Happy New Year,
Happy
Jose.
New Year.
All right.
So he missed it by like 5 or 6 yards. Okay, yeah, he didn't have a shot.
Yeah. I'm gonna start wrapping it up, but we do have one guest backstage. That I guess we'll let in for a few. To add some diversity here, I guess another Cowboys fan, aka Sunil, in this one.
No, get it right. That dull ass Plowboys. It's what Vic DiBitetto says. It's the national name for our team, for our embarrassment of a fucking franchise.
There's two franchises on this panel that kind of precede you in mediocrity and just
Well,
bad.
when you have an owner and a GM owner than the T-Rex from freaking Jurassic Park, that says it all.
Yeah, but at least you guys have been like winning the last few years. What have
Winning what? Tide Pod challenges?
I mean, no, we win the Tide Pod challenges. What do you mean? I mean,
No. That would be Armand and Redneck Grimace over here next to me, over here. You know, the voice of Redneck Grimace from like
Redneck
earlier this.
Grimace. Wait, how did he say? Wait, how is he redneck? I'm missing that.
Dude, Grimace, the original Grimace was really none other than big, sexy Bartolo Colon dressed up as Grimace all year long. The two are about the same physique and body roundness and everything.
I'm still
Me
missing
and
the
Bartolo
redneck.
Colon hit dingers.
Yeah, Bartolo Colon is big, sexy Grimace.
I'm still missing the redneck part, but I get the analogy.
Well, if you gave Grimace a Latino voice of Bartolo Colon and you put Armand's voice next to it, it kind of differentiates it.
Okay.
I guess I'll go with that.
I guess
Yeah.
I will too, yeah.
You gotta give it the Caucasian voice quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you ready to bring back? Are you ready for McCarthy to come back?
McCarthy, dude, Jerry is so geriatrically delusional he's thinking of bringing McCarthy back. It's just a matter of whether McCarthy wants to even stay. At this point, I would take Aaron Rodgers at head coach, and I'm not even fucking kidding.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So welcome, Mr. Capitan Refucio, who is
Up,
a
Capitan.
team who's a fan of the team that has won 2 straight games and kind of fucked up their tank.
Well, 2 straight games to be fair enough. But hey, how's it going? Big Blue in the Bronze, Luca, Alex, Brian, Armand. Prescott. But
Yeah,
I
it's
think
crack Prescott.
Prescott. I understand. But
Yeah.
when you say Aaron Rodgers is gonna be head coach, look,
Maybe in a deep dark somewhere in one of his abysses and his exiles that he's been known to take during the offseason.
Holy snap! But speaking about like the Raiders, because I know that because we just might broke some records. It's not about Travis Kelce. It's not about Mike Andrews. It's not about Sam Laporta. It's
Brock Bowers.
Brock
Yes.
Bowers who break a lot of record, and he passed the number of Mike Ditka. It's unbelievable. But the only problem is we still need a quarterback because I understand that Aiden O'Connor, it's not the answer. But it might be. Yep.
So, Capitan, you want to hear something? I actually started him today in my fantasy Super Bowl. Brock Bowers.
Oh, yeah. And, I didn't say about the Brian Manson because I know he's a Tampa Buccaneers fan, but he's a Georgia Bulldog.
Yeah.
Okay. That's very impressive. I like
That's
it.
why.
I like
that's
it.
why when you said Brock Bowers, I was like, you could thank us for that development.
We just have a impressive draft pick, but oh my goodness.
Always makes me wonder what would have happened if the Jets would have drafted him this year.
Yeah,
See, there's one. Him the ball, Brian.
Let's call it what it is. Armin's right. He would never throw the ball. Rodgers picks who he throws the ball.
That's true. That's true.
He would have thrown it at his foot like he did Yaboa today. And by the way, Zach Rosenblatt on that play tweeted out that Lazard was open and could have had the touchdown.
But Luca, I don't know if you caught some of the barbs I was throwing at you in the chat earlier. I was asking, when is Ray Lucas coming back? When is Chad Pennington coming back? When is Vinny T coming back?
They would all be better than Rodgers now. Rodgers is geriatric.
Exactly my point.
And you know what? Here's the thing, Sunil. If Rodgers is going to become your head coach, can we get some sort of compensation?
You guys are completely missing something. We had quarterback tryouts just last year. We had Armand, we had Brian.
Blitzing.
Yeah, the schmuck is blitzing. We had quarterback tryouts on this channel last year, so it's between you two.
I
don't know,
I'm
man.
The owner with Grimace, so I can't.
Oh yeah. Well, if Tom Brady can be owner and player, or he could try to make him maneuver in that contract, you can try.
I'm gonna get Shane Falco to come out of retirement.
Okay.
Getting Armand in at quarterback is like asking MLB player Rowdy Tellez to be a quarterback. Basically, aren't they both basically in a very similar BMI category?
I don't know. I don't know that calculation.
You get either one to run. You get earthquakes in the fucking football field.
Sunil, the hefty lefty.
Yes, Jared Lorenzen.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
I have to give Mest fans, some sort of beef here, in a different sport, albeit.
Yeah, let's see.
True.
Did you see the meme that was thrown out there for John Heyman's tweet? It said Juan Soda to the Mets, just like it said 2 years ago. Arson Judge to the San Francisco Giants. It said Juan Soda, SODA.
Something I will say, I want to ask. You said you're Raiders fans, Raph?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. So let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
I've always found the Raiders to be an interesting scenario because it feels like they always get close to figuring something out and then they destroy it, or something goes wrong and it gets destroyed. I don't know. I've noticed that trend over the last 6 years, I would say, and I'm dating that back to when Gruden first came back, or when Jack Del Rio had a couple decent years there with Derek Carr. What is it going to take for the Raiders to get back on track with Pierce? Does Pierce have to go and they have to restart all over again? Are they gonna go grab a quarterback they can find in this top 10? Where do the Raiders go from here?
I mean, that's a very interesting question. It seems that, well, what you mentioned about John Gruden, I mean, he was a very capable coach. But when it comes to the draft picks, I mean, he just terrible at the selection of talent. I mean, you can never forget about what happened with the 2020 draft, where they just drafted Alice Leatherwood. I mean, they just became like the worst of the worst. And I understand that after being able to, well, to see how the catastrophe and the disaster coming in for Josh McDaniels and Deb Ziegler, because they just wanted to be like a adopt way for the Patriots. I mean, that's no way, because that's no answer for us. And I understand between for like Derek Carr, it seems that he's very capable. But when you see like the arm technique, and of course during for the press conference, it seems they have like a different person, to be honest. Because I know that he was drafted for the New Orleans Saints, and he's just became very good. But when you see like a lot of plays or arm technique and the pass and the rush and of course the production, it doesn't seem anything right. But between for like an Antonio Pierce, I'm very glad that you asked it. I mean, it seems as the perfect coach, but he needs to learn and understand a lot of more, because not many coaches, not many ex-players of the NFL had the same lucky. If you remember Brian Campbell for the Lions, I mean, they just had like the same lucky, because if you remember the Detroit Lions going out there for like the worst season a few years ago, and then Brian Campbell, he became so much caliber. So Antonio Pierce needs to understand about the Brian Campbell's blueprint. I mean, that just really happens. But when it comes to like the talent, because I know we just had Crystal Wilkins, Matt Crosby. After those injury reports, it still shocks me a lot, but it's gonna be like real okay. But between for like generational talent, it seems that we need something to solidify. We need to something to solidify, because after we just have a testimony about like Aiden O'Connor and Gardner Minshew, it's not the right answer, because if we see like the arm technique of Gardner Minshew, I mean, he's not very capable to throw passes to Brock Bowers, and it seems that the coaching direction is not being right. But as a matter of fact, I think that the Raiders got a little bit more aggressive, but also it got good seasons and bad seasons. But I believe that between for Antonio Pierce direction, it might be kind of like a rebuilding. But if we need to something to do about it, maybe we can draft like a quarterback or a wide receiver or running back, because we don't want it to care about like the whole drama of Devontae Adams, the whole drama of Josh Jacobs. Because if we need something to caliber all the players, go for it.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this because there's one more person I'm going to let on, and that's it, because we've been going 2 hours 30 strong.
Oh, okay.
And Sunil definitely knows him. Giants Misery, aka Li Yankee King.
Oh, the cranky one.
Oh,
I am very cranky today.
Yeah, well, so am I.
Yeah.
Well,
let's just you want to say your team's mediocre. Well, at least you didn't blow the first goddamn pick in the draft. Because now Drew Lock wants to be a superstar quarterback. Oh, now Drew Lock wants to go out there and be prime Tom Brady and throw 5 TDs.
Well, there's your
Act
next
like
target for $40 million a year. I mean, you got to think about that.
He's not Jeff Hostetler.
Drew Lock can get kicked out the fucking door.
He's not. You're right. He's not Jeff Hostetler. He's probably Kerry Collins or Kent Graham.
He's not. He's definitely not Kerry Collins. He might be Kent Graham, but he had the best performance by a Giants quarterback probably. I think he had 4 touchdowns, either since Daniel Jones in 2019 or Eli Manning in 2015.
So you mean to say the Giants are not actually going to go after Kirk Cousins in the offseason?
Fuck no.
Shocker.
I swear to
oh
God.
my goodness.
I've seen that so many goddamn times, and I'm like, I swear to God, if we go after Kirk Cousins and we don't get if we don't get 2 first-round picks for going after Kirk Cousins, I am flipping shit. If we give up anything more than a 7th-round pick for Kirk Cousins, I am flipping shit.
I don't.
He's gonna get released. Nobody's.
Do they have football in Japan? Can they actually bring a Japanese player over from here, just like you're so hot on Murakami for the Yankees?
Fuck, please give me an actual confident quarterback. But this is why
Best
I'm
I could
so
offer is
pissed.
Jameis Winston.
Hell
Shut
no.
up, Ryan.
This is why I'm so pissed at losing the first overall pick because I didn't even want a quarterback. I wanted to trade that back, get me a haul of picks. I'm like, all right, we're now building a core. Andrew Thomas, you're out the door. Dexter, you're out the door.
So when are you?
And it
Hold
really
on. So when are you drafting a quarterback?
in 2 years, 2027.
2027.
I'm looking to get absolute
Who's
dog shit for the next 2 years.
Li? Who's if you're looking at trading guys? Number one, who's coming out in 2027? Number two, how do you know that the team you're trading for or the team you're trading with or you're going to be that bad by 2027? You don't just bottom out 2 years in a row.
So actually,
I don't know what other idea. I don't know what other goddamn plan they have, other than screw it. Let's go after Bryce Young or JJ McCarthy.
No.
Bryce Young is not getting traded.
He's not. He's
playing
no. The
well.
Panthers are going to stick with their quarterback. They can't really get one. And McCarthy, I don't know what's going to happen. I think they'll just let Darnold walk. I don't know.
I think they'll tag Darnold and see if teams trade for him.
I mean,
I think the NFL is going to be on Vikings watch once Aaron Rodgers leaves the Jets, just like they were with Favre back in 2008 and 9.
This Minnesota team is different. How I think the front office would stop the owner from going after Rodgers.
I mean, hey, history's repeated itself twice in the ghetto lands. Why can't it repeat
I
up
can
in?
see Rodgers going to Seattle.
I can see Rodgers going to the Vikings.
I'm just happy that Bill Belichick is not going to be a Giant because he signed with a college team.
Yes, I'm with Li on that. I was never a Belichick to New York Giants person.
I'd like to make an announcement.
Well, at least now he's off Jerry's radar for sure. That's for sure. Because there's a lot of Cowboys talk behind that too.
The Falcons lost, didn't they?
Yep,
the Falcons
they did.
just lost the football game after Washington went on like a
Falcons
8-minute drive
lose
in
in
overtime.
Falcon ways.
Falcons
They
lose.
lost.
Washington clinches their playoff berth, and Seattle's mathematically eliminated.
And this time, Dan Quinn's on the other side of the winning thing,
And
other
now this
than
is-
being on the losing side in a walk-off touchdown scenario, a la Super Bowl when it was that 28-3 comeback. That
wasn't a walk-off. That was just the Falcons choking.
Yeah.
Wow.
The
Let me
Falcons
tell you
choked
about this one. I mean, Atlanta Falcons just got jinxed because after they just lost to the Super Bowl 2019, they never get to recover after that.
That's what I'm saying. But this time, Dan Quinn was on the other side. Dan Quinn was on the losing side then. Not so much now.
Now he's on the winning
because
side.
Washington just won and they clinched
Yeah.
playoff berth. But why it's a bigger deal for me is because Atlanta has now given up the division to Tampa Bay going into the final week.
Which side are you on, Georgia or Florida, man? Make up your mind.
Well, I think you can see by the jersey and the hat.
Well, he's a Georgia fan, though. I don't
I'm
know
a
if you saw
Georgia
that.
Bulldogs fan. That's the
Well, he's got Florida on his shirt and
Aaron
Georgia on
Murray
his
was
mind.
quarterback. Since Aaron
The guy's like Michael Bolton, he's got Georgia on his mind and he's got Florida on his shirt.
Well, also he's a Yankees and then a Milwaukee Bucks fan. So
yeah,
he's,
Milwaukee is the most random of all of them. Like the most
Milwaukee
random. It's not even
Bucks?
close.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not even close to anything else.
I'm surprised you didn't know this.
Milwaukee was a decision I made when I was 11.
Only,
so before
I'm
Giannis
guessing
was
the
drafted,
Milwaukee
about 2 years
Tampa
before.
Bay, connection is there only because they both share the same team name, coincidentally.
No
Well,
joke. I picked it out of a hat because I didn't want to go with anything in New York and I didn't want to go with anything in Florida. I was like, I don't want to just have a team in the same state where I lived. I was like, I might as well just pick something out of a hat. And I like underdogs. So at the time, Milwaukee was considered an underdog, pulled them out of a hat, and that was my pick. And I stuck with them since. I'm talking like back in Monta Ellis, Andrew Bogut, Zaza Pachulia, Brandon Jennings, Larry Sanders, Bucks days. That's a while ago.
Yeah.
It's a while
And
ago.
wasn't
That's when I
former
started.
Maverick head coach Jason Kidd also, coach of that?
Those Jason Kidd years. I like to not remember those years. That was when they decided Eric Bledsoe was more important than Malcolm Brogdon at the time.
Yes.
I'll never forgive him for that. But
I'd like to hear from Princess Luca who he thinks the next Jets head coach and quarterback would be. This would be very intriguing to hear.
Armand's already put his name in the hat to be the GM. It's already over.
I think
No. Armand for our offensive coordinator. At least he wouldn't let the team
I'm in
butt
the
fumble.
front office with Luca with our schmucks of the round table.
No, but you got to dig for the comments I put in there earlier, Alex. I put in Rex Ryan for head coach comeback and Mark Sanchez for butt fumbling offensive coordinator.
That sounds good.
Rex Ryan and Mark Sanchez have a better shot of collabing on OnlyFans than coming back into the NFL.
Hey, you know what? Just to torment Eli, let's put Eli's name in the rankings for some sort of like coaching line job.
I hope Jerry smartens up, cuts Dak Prescott, and brings Aaron Rodgers in and brings back McCarthy.
Yes,
it's going to be John Kitna.
Oh,
Let's be real here. John Kitna's back.
And they bring in Aaron Lazard. And they,
snap! Oh,
Devontae Adams.
No. Devontae goes to
and then the Jets can get Dak choke Scott.
Armand, breaking news. The Cowboys already been cursed for 30 years now. You really want to extend that curse going? I mean, we could talk about the Jets not we could talk about the Jets not winning since Neil Armstrong hit the moon in 69.
They're well aware of that though.
I'm well aware, like I'm used to it.
Yeah, he's used to that.
Exactly.
There's more Cowboy fans that are delusional than Jet fans. We're just angry and pissed
Well,
off.
see, Jerry Jones is older than, like I said earlier, Jerry Jones is older than most T-Rexes from Jurassic Park era.
Oh my goodness!
I mean, Tennille's one of the Cowboys fans. I'll say next year is our year. It's like no, it won't.
Tennille's not that guy. Actually,
To be fair, last year he kind of like opened with that. And then he went to like the Cowboys suck, and he's kind of kept that theme. So I kind of have to give him.
I kind of saw this coming after the way they lost the Green Bay game. I was like, there is definitely a hangover coming. There's some sort of a letdown coming. It was. If you want to talk about a team that was 3-7 and blew possible chances at high draft position, this is the team more so than any of the New York teams. New York teams, we know they suck. That's a given.
What?
You really think that Jerry Jones would want like to tank? That's not possible.
No.
Well, I mean, you already 3-7. You already had a history during like Brandon Whedon taking over for Romo back in 2016. In 2015, Brandon Whedon, Matt Castle, you had all these, cast outs taking over for Romo when he went out with a leg injury back in 15. You had was it Brad? No, not Brad Johnson. Who was the carrot top? Andy Dalton and a bunch of other, vagabonds basically take over when Dak had his injury in 2020, the year one of Mike McCarthy.
That's the next Jets quarterback. Andy Dalton and Tyrod as the vets next year.
Well, I heard Ben's.
You want to talk about?
Yeah, actually,
I
wanted to ask.
Picks? Go look at what the Giants just did. That pops anything the Cowboys
question for Brian. Question for Brian. Isn't Quentin from Texas? Isn't yours coming out in the draft?
He should.
I heard that.
Yes. Yeah, he should be.
Yeah, so there's your next possible candidate for one of the New York spots.
Listen, Carson Beck is also declaring, and I'm going to
tell you,
don't touch him with the 10 football.
Man.
Don't touch him, guys. Don't touch him.
Well, he's going to have elbow surgery, so the Jets already have an injured young quarterback on the roster. They don't
even with an injured elbow, he still throws better than Rodgers. We both know that.
Carson Beck.
All right, I'm just gonna throw a wildcat name into the ring. Bad take Brian for one of the quarterback spots. How about that?
I told you.
You could go back up Baker.
Alex, Luca, you guys have seen me throw a football. Is that really a realistic option?
I mean,
if Brandon Whedon could do dink and dunks, you can do much better than dink and dunks.
We saw you we saw your cadences last year, Brian.
You did see my cadences, but what chat doesn't know is that you guys have seen me firsthand throwing a football in full sets.
I mean, we could take one of the 5'8" twins over here. They'd resurrect the careers of like Doug Flutie and there's one guy I can't remember the name. He was not very tall at quarterback. The name is escaping me right now. I know Flutie wasn't. Yeah,
I'll figure it out.
I know for a fact Alex ain't 5'8" because I'm 5.
No, I'm 5'8". I'm 5'8", brother.
Oh, then I'm probably Oh, I'm like 2 inches taller.
I'm 5'6". I'm 5'6", so I don't know. I'm 5'6".
Eli's saying that because I met him in person in Cleveland.
Wasn't Mark Sanchez 5'6"?
I was for reference. I'm basically the same height as Kyler Murray, so that tells you just how that's going to work out.
Well, Kyler Murray is ass. So,
well, if not him, Bryce Young. So we're all three of us are at the same height. Also, are you
on,
thinking
on
of a
that
Seneca
note, I'd probably
Wallace?
have to
Seneca
throw
Wallace was
Brian
kinda
off a
short.
cliff because he'd suck for us. I'd be pissed.
Oh my god!
No, he's going off the cliff on that one. But 2 hours 44 in. The part I left out is I have to be up for work at 4. So
you're screwed.
Yeah, I
which
did this
time zone?
Oh my god!
Eastern. Yeah. So I did this last night because I was at a family member's house, but I'm gonna start clearing out the panel. I want to thank everybody for coming on here for this like last moment of the year stream. I'll start with Sunil first, and then I'll move forward.
Yeah. Well, said it before, said it again. Cowboys still have a mountain to climb. They still got to decide whether Mike McCarthy is still going to be head coach or not. Popular consensus in Dallas is hell no. Right now, the Dallas offseason team, and I'm talking offseason with respect to MLB season, the Dallas-based offseason team clearly to watch these days lately is in the NBA more than the NFL. Nobody, and I repeat, nobody vouches for Jerry. Everybody wants Jerry, the GM, to be fired and Jerry to sell the team, regardless of what happens with McCarthy. McCarthy, I think he's going to decide his own fate. He's just going to be, you know what, take this big terse F you and shove it up your ass.
Oh man.
All right.
Yeah.
El Capitan.
And that's going to leave Jerry in the hole for a head coach.
Okay, so I'm not gonna keep it PG because I know that's gonna be very important. It's gonna be the last hours before 2024 ends. So thanks for having me. I know there's gonna be so much incredible. So thank you, Alex. Thank you, Luca, and of course, thanks for all these amazing content creators. Also, Brian Mansell. I mean, love you, brother, and I cannot wait because to be fair, because I have a podcast coming on through like at 12:30 a.m., which is a late night. But I guarantee that, well, I have a great blast to have it with some amazing content creators. And of course, James Mystery, I know you're a Yankee fan, but don't worry. I know that New York Yankees just lost to World Series, but we might get a lot of things better, all right?
I hope so.
Yeah, that's about any New York, sports teams' hopes and dreams that the Yankees stay alive and actually stay relevant in some sense.
I hope so. Your final thoughts?
Well, hopefully the Giants can actually get out of this mediocrity hole we're in and actually be a good franchise for once, instead of just going to a Super Bowl and then falling off a cliff the next step they take. Hopefully.
Is Bill Parcells Jr. out there somewhere?
No.
No.
Unfortunately not.
Probably
Okay.
not.
Not
And
for
why am I
another.
not shocked that you made a 90s reference and you're a Yankee fan?
Well,
What about any one of Tom Coughlin's descendants? I mean, he's the last real ray of sunshine you guys
I'm
had.
probably in the minority that I would keep Dable and Shane.
I would rather axe them both.
Because how attractive is this job if you're going to continue just overturning GM and head coach every 3 years?
Before I
Not attractive.
answer Sunil's question and then go to Armin, the Texans did that and they have DeMeco Ryans. The 49ers did that. They have Kyle Shanahan. There's probably another job out there. So they've overturned it a few times and they've managed. You just got to get the right one. And as for Sunil's question, there's not a male descendant of Tom Coughlin. There is a son-in-law, and he's a current scout for the Giants by the name of Chris Snead. So,
There's your answer. Then get him in that head coach. Get Dable out.
I don't think he's getting a head coach. He's more of a scout.
Hey, I mean, you saw what Gene Michael did for the Yankees, and Gene Michael was a former big league manager.
Yeah, but Gene Michael did that because he didn't have Steinbrenner. Remember, Steinbrenner was not in the league.
He was outlawed for a little bit.
Thank
you. Yeah.
He was outlawed.
Yeah. But here's some karma for you. If McCarthy leaves the Cowboys, this would bring massive intrigue. McCarthy to the Meadowlands on the green side, keeping with Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams.
No, that's not happening.
You were going to make Luca hit himself with a baseball bat.
Luca's
That's
gonna
not going to happen.
He's going to need more.
They
Luca's
don't
gonna
like
go
each
to the
other.
podcast IL with a concussion.
I could just jump out this window right here.
Well, he's got a litany of options nonetheless. But Sir Armand, your final thoughts.
As my thing says, abandon all hope. Jets fans, Giants fans, Bears fans, any fans that have stupid, dumb owners that don't make any good goddamn decisions, abandon all hope. And I just
Does
want to
that
say,
include the Cowboys?
Yes.
no, fuck them.
Okay.
Keep believing and be delusional. I just want to say, Juan Soto, welcome to family.
Juan Soda? Is that big 3-liter bottle of Juan Soda? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I guess.
Did you see the Juan Soto meme on Facebook? It was a picture of Bartolo Colon wearing jersey number 22.
Because nobody goes on Facebook outside of like 40-year-olds.
Well, it's on social. I just named Facebook just out of curiosity, just for like the first thing that came to my head, but it's all over social media. It was Bartolo Colon wearing Juan Soto's jersey.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to clear you guys out before we get the final threes panel thoughts. To you gentlemen, of course, well, I mean, you're in the group chat, Sunil and Armand. We always, chat.
Yeah, get him in there too, man. We got to have fun with this guy.
No, you don't want me, Sunil.
Yeah, he's...
Dude, we got all sorts of tragedy. We even have a tragedy from Australia in there.
But I appreciate you guys for coming on and tuning in. So have a happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And,
You too, man.
We'll talk. All right. Final three. What's up, Disgruntled and Mike? Final three, final thoughts. I'll start with Sir Luca.
Thank you for my gift. I say to Alex and Brian. Thank you all at the chat. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new here. I saw a few newbies. My confidence is very small in the Jets' upcoming GM and head coaching search. They might just use Corn and Ferry again, but they still got the 33rd team. But until Woody Johnson changes his ways, this team is going fucking nowhere. Otherwise, happy holidays to everybody. Whatever holiday you celebrate. And Happy New Year, too. Inspire hope this year, unlike the Jets.
What is this, the dentist system? Brian.
Well, first I got to answer a couple of things. One, I saw Jacob's question in the chat. The license plate thing behind me. This is can't really pull this thing out, but it's an old street sign I have since I was a kid. It says Derek Jeter Boulevard. And I always keep that as a memory to remember where the Yankee fandom began, where it began, and where it dies. It dies with Jeter. It stays with Jeter. It was always Jeter. That's how I first became a fan, and I will forever be a fan because of him. That's how it always started for me. So that's why that's there. 2, they just released the schedule for Week 18. I don't know if you guys got a glimpse of that yet. I'm going to give you guys a fill-in now on that.
Okay.
So they've already booked it out. Saturday, we have 2 games. It's going to be Browns-Ravens, 4:30. Bengals-Steelers, 8 o'clock. That's Eastern time. Sunday, you get to watch the Giants play the Eagles at 1 o'clock Eastern. And the Jets are not going to play at 1 o'clock either. They're going to play at 4:25 against the Dolphins. With the chance to spoil Miami's chances of making the playoffs, even if they're slim. Tampa will be playing at 1 o'clock as well against the Saints, while the Falcons will be playing the Panthers at 1 o'clock. That will decide again who wins the South. And as for the biggest story of the whole thing, the Vikings and the Lions is Sunday Night Football to determine who's the number 1 seed in the NFC. So that's your little sports update to let you guys prepare for Week 18. And now to final thoughts. I'm grateful for my team. Do they cause me emotional anguish? Yes. Do they do it on a constant basis? Yes. Are they a leading cause of my high blood pressure I get only on Sundays? Yes. But there's one thing I can say. At least the dysfunctional levels are nowhere near as high as the New York teams. And I will forever be grateful for that. Because if I were to have listened to my uncle, when I was a kid, when he tried to convince me to become a Giants fan, I'd be sitting in the same boat as you guys. And I'm very grateful that I didn't do that. And I stuck with my team from my home roots of Florida and stuck with Tampa Bay this whole time. That's why I want to say. If we make the playoffs, we make the playoffs. Fire Todd Bowles, of course. Always stand on that. And then as for you guys, Alex, enjoy whatever quarterback you try to find and get this offseason. Whether that's going to be Carson Beck, Jackson Dart, maybe Cam Ward if they're smart.
Kyle McCord.
Shut up, Luca.
Kyle McCord. Kyle McCord.
Alex, who's that guy from our Army?
Oh, Diego Pavia.
Mm-hmm. Wait. No, Pavia's Vanderbilt.
Pavia's Vanderbilt, my bad.
Don't forget Riley Leonard.
Oh, Riley Leonard. Could be good seeing you as a Notre Dame fan. No, I heard Ian Book is still available.
Please spare.
Oh no, he got picked up. It can't be really the proposal now. But there's many opportunities for you guys. You guys got to figure out what direction you want to go, and if you're going to do that with Shane or without Shane, because Dable is 100% a goner. I want you to be ready for that. He's 100% a goner. Shane is the question now. As for the Jets, I hope you clean house. I hope your owner has a sudden realization and a coming to with God to interfere with his meddling in the team to tell him, let the men do their work.
Exactly.
Let them take care of the job. You hire the people because you trust them to do the job. Let them do the job. If they don't do the job right, you can get rid of them. But do not interfere with the team operations led by your coach and your GM. You put them there for a reason. The meddling is what's been constant in the last 10 years. There's been a lot of meddling from the Jets and from Johnson. Let that be known. No more meddling. That's the message for the New York Jets. No more meddling entering the offseason.
That's a catchphrase for next year. By the way, good thinking on Barbara's end. Georgia and Notre Dame played this week. They play on New Year's Day.
I'm prepared to lose.
I'm prepared to lose.
I'm prepared to lose.
I think Georgia's losing, so I'm prepared to lose.
Well, we'll see what happens. But 2 hours, 56 minutes. We appreciate every single one of you for tuning in over the past year, of course. Obviously we announced that we're going back to the Senior Bowl, so we're working hard on that. Get you some more player interviews and stuff like that, more in-depth analysis, and just improving what we do here every time we come back to you guys. Tuesday, we'll have a recap pod of the Colts game. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight. I know it was a long stream, but Rob and his rants and all these other different thoughts that were thrown in there made it a lot of fun to end the year with. But we appreciate you guys. And, in terms of lives, we will see you in 2025.